is baseball time out here at Lundquist Field in lovely Ogden, Utah. I'm your host, Jacob Peters, and these first two games of this three-game set have been pretty interesting. First of all, Saturday night, Ogden Raptors came out and scored 21 runs on 23 hits, humiliating the Provo Angels. The Angels decided we're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to play even harder. They did that despite giving up 6 runs through the first 2 innings last night. The Angels were able to tie the game up on an Angie Tucson home run in the 8th, which made it 7-7. You got to give a lot of credit to Wayne Hedden last night as he pitched 2 2/3 innings, did not allow a single hit, walked a couple batters, and had 4 strikeouts. Chris Waters came onto the mound in the seventh inning of last night's contest with runners in scoring position. He ended up striking out back-to-back batters, which eventually would give the Angels a chance to hit that home run and tie the game up. But like most teams, things aren't always as they seem. Bottom of the 8th inning of a 7-7 game, the Ogden Raptors were able to hit a 2-run homer as Blake DeWitt sent a shot, and that gave the Raptors the eventual win. 9 runs on 12 hits, 7 runs on 10 hits for the Provo Angels. So the Angels have lost back-to-back games against the Ogden Raptors. Now, what do we have in tonight's contest? We'll let you know in just a minute as we're live out here in Ogden, Utah, Lundquist Field. The Raptors and the Angels getting set for Game 3 of tonight's final game in the series. The Angels and the Ogden Raptors only a couple minutes away from getting this game underway. We'd like to thank all of our wonderful sponsors who make Provo Angels baseball a reality. When you come out to the ballpark, be sure to pick up a 2004 souvenir game program. Check out some of our sponsors. Look around the outfield fence. Listen to the PA announcements at Larry H. Miller Field, because we have a lot of great people who have made baseball possible here in the 2004 season. Let's go ahead and look at the organizational report. A lot of interesting games going on last night in the Angels system. First of all, the Colonels defeated the Clinton Lumberjacks 6-5 as Blake Balcom last year played here with the Angels. He hit a couple of doubles, drove in 3 runs, and propelled the Colonels past the Clinton Lumberjacks 6-5 yesterday in front of over 5,000 fans as the Colonels trying to make themselves a situation to make it to the playoffs this year. So a lot of credit goes out to Blake Balcom as the Colonels pick up the victory last night. Same 2 teams going at it tonight. Also in Rancho Cucamonga, High A, the Quakes thumped the High Desert Mavericks 10-6 as Jared Abruzzo and Ronzel Megarulo had a couple of home runs in that contest. The Quakes had a 7-2 lead. Eventually coming back would be High Desert. The Quakes countered out 14 hits, including Eric Ivor going 3 for 4 with a triple and a couple runs scored. So the Quakes pick up that victory as Rancho Cucamonga again trying to do something here in the second half. Arkansas Travelers, though, not as much fortune as they were taking on the San Antonio Missions. The Missions set a new season high with runs and hits as they collected 16 runs en route to a 16-2 victory over the Travelers. Very good game for San Antonio. Nick Gornial of the Arkansas Travelers did hit his 11th home run. He's an ex-Provo Ranger player, but was unable to get anything else as the Travs got defeated 16-2 last night in San Antonio. Up in Salt Lake City, after making an exciting comeback to tie the game in the 9th inning, the Stingers gave up a run in the 10th and would eventually lose in front of a sellout crowd on Independence Day. Last night they were going to have their annual fireworks show. There were over 16,000 fans Sunday night, and they were treated to a thrilling 1-run contest. However, the Stingers were unable to pick up the victory. Dallas McPherson added a couple of hits and an RBI, and Adam Riggs' 2-run homer eventually got the game close. But coming back would be that good old team from Tacoma, the Rainiers. picked up the win over the Stingers. And up in the big leagues last night, the Dodgers scored 4 runs in the 7th inning to defeat Anaheim 6-2 at Angel Stadium. Jeff Weaver picking up his 6th win of the season, and Kelvin Escobar getting credited with the loss. Let's go ahead and look at the around the Pioneer League and kind of get you up to date with scores and things that have gone on. Well, right here in your neighborhood. Last night, the Casper Rockies defeated the Idaho Falls Chuckers in Idaho Falls 8-2. The Idaho Falls teams made a good little run. In the 9th inning, they were able to put 3 runs on the board, but they were defeated as the Rockies defeat them. They are now 8-8 on the season. Missoula defeats Billings 4-3. It was only the 4th win of the season for Missoula. They were able to defeat the Billings Mustangs, who are 8 wins and 7 losses. So Missoula trying to do something out there as the lone team in the league who's just been struggling to start the season off. And then up in Great Falls, the White Sox defeat the Helena Brewers 14-6 in a slugfest. Great Falls had about 6 players collect 2 or more hits. A lot of RBIs, a lot of offense in that game. Helena Brewers losing the game. They are now tied with the Ogden Raptors for the best record in the North Division. It's a 10-6 record for Helena, 10 wins and 6 losses for the Ogden Raptors. That's what's going on tonight here in beautiful Linquez Field. The Angels and the Raptors getting set to play this game. And, well, let's go ahead and look at what's going on. Fernando Rodriguez, the right-hander, will be on the mound for the Provo Angels, while Phil Sopko, the righty, will take the mound for the Ogden Raptors. Back-to-back tough losses for Provo. They have got to do something tonight so they can head home, take on the Ogden Raptors for 2 games, and make it interesting. If we look at the standings, the Provo Angels are 3 games back in that division. So we assume that if the Angels can win tonight's game against Ogden and then take Tuesday and Wednesday's games against Ogden at home, they could be tied in first place, depending on what the Casper Rockies do. So it's still a pretty interesting situation. We cross our fingers as the Angels and the Raptors will be getting set in just a couple of minutes. It's a beautiful night out here in Ogden, Utah. Not a lot of wind, nothing but sunshine in the skies. The sun is beaming across this beautiful baseball field, and we're ready to get baseball started. A lot of fans out here in Ogden. Stay with us as we're going to get the national anthem in a minute, and we'll bring it out here for game time. Game 3 of the final series against the Raptors. Final game of this series begins in just a couple of moments.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see the starting lineup for the Ogden Raptors. Leading off, the second baseman number 7, Brandon Carter. 5 seconds, shortstop number 25, Luke Day. 93rd, next day, hitter number 6, DeWitt. 94th, right first base number 37, Luis Castillo. 95th, for left field number 13, Dan Batts. Right six, great right field number 70, B.J. Richmond. Right seventh, the center field number 18, Justin Ruggiano. 98th, the third base number Denker. And pick up number 60, Provo. Starting on the right field after the start for the double shot. The Raptors are covered. 50 coaches, PJ, Tim Kelly. Many coaches, 9 single hits, family conditioning, wild franchise. The Traitors pit, and JFG is still not here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the police wives that join all people in the line as she saves our national anthem.
Presented here at Linquest Field as we get set for Game 3 of tonight's series between the Angels and the Raptors. Welcome out to the broadcast booth. I'm your host, Jacob Amaroa Peters, and this is baseball here in the 2004 Pioneer League season. The Angels, 3 straight years winning the Southern Division. The Ogden Raptors have not won it since Provo came into town, so there's a pretty big rivalry brewing between these two teams, and you can feel that intensity in the air as a lot of the players have something to say about this Provo Angels team. Signs are up, people are wearing I Hate Angels shirts, and it's ready for baseball out here at Linquest Field. On the mound for the Ogden Raptors, it's going to be Phil Sopko, the right-hander. Sopko in his 4th game, he's 0-1, 13 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 12 hits, 10 walks, 19 strikeouts. Phil Sopko does have a very high ERA, 6.08, and he has walked a lot of batters. However, he's also a strikeout pitcher, so we'll see how the Angels can handle the right-hander Phil Sopko here in Game 3 of this series. Let's go ahead and look at the Angels lineup. Richard Giannotti, the center fielder, will be leading things off. He'll be followed by Nate Sutton at third base. Sean Rodriguez, the shortstop, will be batting third, and Cliff Remele in left field will be cleaning things up. Andrew Toussaint will be the DH tonight. He hits fifth. Joshua LeBlanc at second base, batting sixth. J.R. Renz in right field. He'll be hitting in the 7th spot. Tim Duff, the catcher, hitting 8th. And Chris Walston at first base will be batting in the 9 hole. The Angels get set to take on Phil Sopko here at Linquest Field. You're listening to Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Don't forget, fans, that there's plenty of opportunities this season to be a part of Provo Angels baseball. Come on out to the ballpark, support your team. www.provoangels.com for your information, or 422-8225 and pick up your Angel tickets. Richard Giannotti, a left-hander, 273 hitter since joining the Angels, a 38th round pick as he digs in against Phil Sopko. Sopko getting the sign from his catcher, and here's the first pitch. It's going to be high for a ball, 1-0. So Giannotti takes the ball to start things off here at Lindquist Field, Game 3 of the series. Giannotti has been struggling against the Ogden Raptors, a 167 hitter against this club. And the pitch will be outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The good thing about Richard Giannotti, he's got a great eye, a great ability to get on base. And let's see with a 2-0 count what he can do. Phil Sopko, the pitcher, delivers again, and it'll be high and outside. 3-0. Giannotti out of the University of Miami. 38th round pick. Reported here to the Provo Angels about a week ago. Sopko down in the count, and the pitch will be outside. Giannotti takes 4 pitches to open up the game and head over to first base with the leadoff walk. Defensively for the Raptors, Kenjil Pujols catching. Luis Castilla at first base. Brandon Carter will be playing second. Lucas May at short, and Travis Denker playing third base. Danny Batts in left field, Justin Ruggiano in center, and B.J. Richmond in right. First pitch to Nate Sutton will be a strike right down the middle, 0-1. Nate Sutton has his mother, his father, and his brother here at the ballpark tonight as they flew out from Northern California. Nate Sutton, a .414 hitter, base hit past the shortstop into left field. So Nate Sutton will put runners at first and second as he has reached base now in every single game he's played in his 10th straight game getting on base. As it was a roller right past the shortstop, Lucas May. Sutton at first, Richard Giannotti at second, and with nobody out, Sean Rodriguez makes his way in. Rodriguez, a third-round draft pick by the Angels last season. And right now is sporting a nice-looking .483 batting average. First pitch to Rodriguez. It'll be inside for a ball, 1-0. Rodriguez, a .526 hitter against the Ogden Raptors. And a .500 hitter with runners on base. He's put up some interesting numbers. 1-0. Phil Sopko looking to second. Now will come in with the pitch, and Rodriguez will take a ball high, 2-0. And that's the interesting thing. Sean Rodriguez started off this season but got sent down here to the Provo Angels after Billy Boyer got called back up. And Boyer, we heard, just got hurt in Cedar, so Rodriguez might be taking a plane trip back to Cedar. He'll take a strike, 2 balls and a strike. But that just shows you the confidence of a player coming from single A down to the rookie league level. He knows he can hit. He was up in single A. 2 runners are on. A 2-1 count here in the first. Sopko's pitch, big breaking ball, but inside. Now 3-1 to Rodriguez. Phil Sopko with a 6.08 ERA. He has struggled as a pitcher when runners have been on base behind him. Definitely a situation that Rodriguez, a good hitter with runners on base, can capitalize on. The 3-1 pitch, and it'll be a strike on the outside part of the plate. Rodriguez threw his bat thinking that he was going to get a walk. Doesn't agree with the play, so Rodriguez has to head back as it is now full 3-2. And Rodriguez asking the umpire, come on, was that really a pitch over the outside part of the plate? Full count to Rodriguez. Now should be the time he dominates Phil Sopko, the right-hander. Sopko looking towards second, now comes in, and that one will be outside. So Rodriguez will head over to first base with a no-out walk. Base is now loaded. Remember, yesterday the Angels had the bases loaded 3 times during the contest, but were only able to score a run once during those 3 times with the bases loaded. Pitching coach for the Ogden Raptors heads out to talk with his young right-hander. It's going to be Tim Kelly out there. So the Angels have opened up this game loading the bases against Phil Sopko. And hopefully Provo can make something happen tonight as they were humiliated in the first game by a score of 21-3. They got their hearts broken last night after coming back from a 6-1 deficit to tie it up at 7-7. They end up being defeated late in the game. So tonight will be a perfect evening for Provo to make something happen. Don't forget, Angel fans, come on out, support your Provo Angels. This will be the final season at Larry H. Miller Field. So we'd love to see the ballpark filled. We'd love to see the fans out there supporting the 2004 Provo Angels. Cliff Remley from the left, a .289 hitter to start off his professional career. Bases are loaded. Remley in his first at-bat as a professional with them loaded, and he'll take one high and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Cliff Remley, a .400 hitter when runners have been in scoring position, but he's only hitting .182 against Ogden, so you kind of have to juggle the numbers and try to play the odds here. Next one is inside, 2-0 to Remley. Then obviously Phil Sopko, the right-hander on the mound. Opponents have hit over .430 against them when there have been guys on base. So Sopko has a difficult time finding the strike zone. Remley has been a very good hitter with runners in scoring position. He'll swing through the fastball outside. It's now 2-1. So definitely the odds right now are in the Angels' favor with the bases loaded, nobody out. And a pitcher on the mound who struggles when guys have been on behind him. And the guy at the bat was a good hitter with runners on base. Top of the first inning, 2 balls, 1 strike to the left-hander. A big gap in right center. The 2-1 pitch will sail outside. It's now 3-1. A hitter's count right here. Obviously, there's nowhere to put Cliff Remley. Sopko has to get a strike in and around the strike zone. And let's see if Remley guesses right. The 3-1 pitch, and that'll be softly tapped to the shortstop. Should be 2 as he flips to second for 1, but it's a high throw to first. Remley beats it out. That'll be a fielder's choice, and the Angels get a run to cross the plate as Richard Giannotti trots over. The Angels now lead 1-0. Nate Sutton at third base. Sean Rodriguez at second is out, and Remley at first base. So runners at the corners, Andrew Toussaint. Last night hitting 2 home runs. He is second in the league in home runs. He has 4 on the season, and 3 of his 4 home runs have come against the Ogden Raptors. Andrew Toussaint, a 13th round draft pick. The Angels with an early lead, 1-0. Toussaint will take one in the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes. Toussaint out of Southern A&M was a teammate of Joshua LeBlanc, who's also a member of the Provo Angels team. Toussaint playing DH tonight. A right-hander. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Sopko's pitch cuts the outside part of the plate, 1-1. And this is obviously a game in which the Provo Angels desperately have to take away from the Raptors. They head home to play 2 against Ogden. It's a much-needed game. High and inside to Toussaint. 2 balls, 1 strike. So the situation is, obviously, if Provo can win today, they can set themselves up for the next 2 games at Larry H. Miller Field and maybe get themselves up in first place. The 2-1 pitch is in the dirt. Now 3-1 to the power hitter. Toussaint with quick wrists, doesn't have the largest build on the team, but he has extremely quick hands. And obviously, Phil Sopko, the pitcher, does not want to load the bases again. 3-1, throws over to first base. Remley gets back safely. Joshua LeBlanc in the on-deck circle for Provo. Top of the first inning, game 3 of this 3-game series with the Raptors out here in Ogden. Phil Sopko gets the sign from his pitcher, and Toussaint will hit a foul ball down the first base side, 3-2. Kenjil Pujols behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes. And Sopko, early in this game, has found himself in a situation. Full count to Andrew Toussaint, the right-hander, runner from second going, and Toussaint will foul this ball down the right field side to keep the count 3-2. Lindquist Field, a beautiful ballpark. The Ogden Raptors have done a great job making this a fan-friendly facility. They have a play field out in right field, grassy berms, a lot of good barbecue pits here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and now the pickoff play. Remele caught between second and first. The pitcher, Phil Sopko, and now coming home is going to be the runner. He will be safe. And now Remele in a pickle like crazy, and look at him go. Great job by Cliff Remele forcing Nate Sutton. Great heads-up play as Sutton comes home to score. Remele was bouncing back and forth from first and second base. Nate Sutton was able to sneak home as Remele able to hold it off long enough. So even though Remele is picked off, Sutton will come home to score, and it's now a 2-0 Angels lead. And obviously, if you're a first baseman or the second baseman, your initial play might have been home. Get that lead runner out. But Nate Sutton was able to sneak past without a throw. Remele was playing pickle like Benny the Jet in Sandlot. Full count to 2 outs. 2 outs now. Here's the pitch. And he'll take it high and inside to head over to first base with a walk. So obviously Phil Sopko not worrying about walking Toussaint now that the bases have been cleared.
Second base number 18, Joshua LeBlanc.
LeBlanc makes his way to the bat. Good heads-up play by Nate Sutton. LeBlanc from the left side, runner at first is Toussaint. He's breaking, and then Toussaint will foul the ball off, 0-1. So it looks like they had a hit-and-run play call. LeBlanc has hit .385 in the last 4 games he's played in. So Joshua's getting his numbers up there. And he'd like to keep this inning going. 0-1 to Joshua LeBlanc out of Houston, Texas. And Phil Sopko fakes the throw to first. But that interesting play, the Cliff Remele pickoff play, the pitcher did one of those fake to third, turn around and go to first plays, and Remele fell for it. The 0-1 pitch, again foul off third base side, 0-2 to Joshua LeBlanc. Now, even though Joshua's hitting .385 in his last 4 games, he's only hitting .167 against the Ogden Raptors to start off this 2004 season. And on an 0-2 count, you would think he'd choke up a little bit and take advantage of this. The throw to first base, Toussaint getting back safely. The Angels, with 2 runs here in the first inning, hopefully that'll be enough to give them some momentum, give Fernando Rodriguez, their pitcher, a little bit of momentum. LeBlanc, the 6th rounder out of Southern A&M. Phil Sopko getting set. And Toussaint runs again, breaking pitch high. Pujols with the throw, and in there and out of there is Andrew Toussaint. He was safe by a mile. The throw was high. By the time the guy caught the ball, he had to go down to apply the tag, but Toussaint was already getting up. Either way, he is caught stealing for out number 3, but the Angels put 2 runs on the board. We head to the bottom of the first inning, and your Angels on top, 2-0.
Mike Anderson and Nick Walker to the third base gate. Mike Anderson, Nick Walker to the third base gate, please. Thank you.
Bottom of the first inning, the Ogden Raptors getting set to take their at-bats against Fernando Rodriguez. Brandon Carter will be leading things off. He'll be followed by Lucas May, and then Blake DeWitt will be hitting third. Luis Castilla batting in the fourth spot. Danny Batts hitting fifth. B.J. Richmond in the sixth hole. Then Justin Ruggiano will bat seventh. Travis Denker will be in the eighth hole, and Ken Gil Pujols will be hitting ninth for the Ogden Raptors. The Provo Angels on top by a score of 2-0. And Fernando Rodriguez on the mound for the Angels. This will be his fourth game of the season. 7 in the third innings pitched. He's given up 9 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and he has an ERA of 3.68. Fernando Rodriguez, in his only game against Ogden this year, pitched 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. For Fernando Rodriguez, let's see how he handles the Ogden Raptors. Brandon Carter from the left side. First pitch will be a strike. 0-1. Raptors scored 4 runs in the first inning in Game 1 of this series. 4 runs in the first inning of Game 2 of this series. Now let's see if Fernando Rodriguez can break out of it as he throws the ball outside. 1-1. Brandon Carter currently hitting .556 for the Raptors, leading the team in that department. The 1-1 pitch, it'll be fouled down the first base side, 1-2. And Carter is 9 for 11 against the Provo Angels, including that 5 for 5 night during the first game of the series. So Carter has been a very good hitter, and this is a guy who was drafted in the 40th round. But he definitely is starting off hot for the Raptors. The 1-2 pitch by Rodriguez, it'll be outside, 2-2. Carter, out of Old Dominion University, was a communications major. That's radio, TV, and journalism. Brandon Carter loves writing music and poetry, so obviously communications is right down his block, and he will chase a changeup and strike out for out number 1. So Carter is retired, and now Lucas May, the shortstop, will get set. Don't forget, Angel batters, come out and support your Provo Angels at Larry H. Miller Field, located right across the street from BYU's football stadium. You know the ballpark. One of the nicer collegiate stadiums in the entire country. Lucas May will take a ball outside, 1-0. This will be the final season the Provo Angels play at Larry H. Miller Field. They've actually been renting out space on a year-to-year basis there before they were able to get their new ballpark approved. And they did, and that ballpark should be finished in October. 2 balls, no strikes to the right-hander, Lucas May. Rodriguez with the pitch, and it'll be fouled back, 2-1. Defensively for the Angels, Tim Duff is behind the plate, Chris Walston at first, Joshua LeBlanc at second base, and then Sean Rodriguez at short. Nate Sutton at the hot corner, Cliff Remmelay left, Richard Giannotti in center, and J.R. Renz in right field. The sun is out, the field looks beautiful, and baseball is being played here in Ogden. The 2-1 pitch to Lucas, line but foul, down the first base side, 2-2. Lucas May, a .283 hitter on the season, a much better hitter at home as he's nearly batting .370. Lucas May in his second year of professional baseball. The 2-2 pitch is outside, and that'll fill the count up to Lucas. Bottom of the first inning, the Angels with 2 runs on a hit. The Raptors at the bat right now, 1 out on the board. Full count to Lucas May. Rodriguez getting set. A grounder right to the second baseman, LeBlanc. He'll pick it up, throws over to first base, and that's routine. 2 outs as Blake DeWitt makes his way up. Blake DeWitt, a .297 hitter on the season, a first-round draft pick, 28th overall. And Blake DeWitt, a .420 hitter at home. In fact, he has 11 RBIs on the season. All of his RBIs have come here at Lindquist Field. DeWitt from the left, and first pitch, he'll foul it back. 0-1. Last night, Blake DeWitt hit that 2-run homer, which ended up being the game winner. And he'll pop this one foul. Third base side, 0-2. And then in the first game of the series, Blake DeWitt had another 2-run homer. So he's had 2 straight games with home runs. But right now he's down in the count 0-2. Fernando Rodriguez, the righty, delivering, swing and a miss. Blake DeWitt strikes out. 1, 2, 3 go the Ogden Raptors, and the Provo Angels are ready to get something today, and that's a victory. We head to the top of the second. Angels 2 and the Raptors 0.
On your mark. Get set. Go. He's flying on the first base side. He's on the bounce here. He's going down. Don't forget to pay 29 in your program. It'll be on the side sticker on the top of John's pizza app. You are a coupon good for 1 free pizza if you buy one. You might want to pick up the John. Again, all kinds of some fresh out of the
Top of the second here at Linquest Field as the Angels will be sending up LeBlanc, Renz, and Tim Duff. If you're thinking about doing some sponsorships with the Provo Angels and figure, well, it's too late this year, I can get on board next year. Well, it's not too late. We still have plenty of opportunities for you to join our marketing partners group. And if you want to get something set up for next season, go for it. The 2005 season will be accepting sponsorship opportunities ASAP, so give us a call at 377-BALL. That's 377-BALL. Ask for me, Jacob Peters, or contact me at 735-5496, as I also double as the Director of Corporate Sales. So give us a call at the Angels office. We'd love to get you set up. LeBlanc will be leading things off here in the second inning. He was at bat when Andrew Toussaint was caught stealing to end the inning. Andrew Toussaint. And now Joshua LeBlanc, first pitch, grounder right to the shortstop and past the shortstop, Lucas May. It was on the ground, so May was running low to the ground. The ball got right underneath him, and that'll be a base hit for Joshua LeBlanc. So the Angels get things started off here on first base, and now J.R. Renz will step up and make his first at-bat of the game. J.R. Renz, a switch hitter. And the first pitch, it'll be a ball, 1-0. At least that's what it says. Renz has been a switch hitter, but it looks like he's trying to exclusively bat from the right side, as obviously there's a right-hander on the mound. The 1-0 pitch comes high and inside. It's now 2-0 to Renz. JR hitting .353 in his last 4 games. But here's another guy who, even though he's been playing good his last 4 or 5 games, he has struggled against the Raptors this year. The 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 2-1. Top of the second. A slight wind blowing in from center field, but it is just gorgeous outside. Sunshine. The mountains are just powerfully overlooking us. The temple beyond center field. An old factory out over right field. A great place for a game as Phil Sopko throws to first base. Toussaint back safely. J.R. Renz, a 4th-round draft pick in 2002, is at the bat. Sopko again throws to first base. obviously the pitcher, Phil Sopko, doesn't like runners on base, and fittingly enough, he has struggled with runners on this season. Batters have hit over 370 against him when there have been guys on. So that obviously means he loses a bit of his focus to the batter and allows the batter to hit well. J.R. Renz hit and run play, but it'll be foul down the first base side. LeBlanc was running. Renz hitting the line drive, but just fouled. LeBlanc has to get back to first base, and that evens the count up at 2-2. Well, one thing the Angels have had trouble doing against the Ogden Raptors is getting these runners when they were on base to cross the plate. So they're trying to do some things differently today. Obviously, hit and run plays, stealing bases. And we'll see how that pays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. J.R. Renz from the right. And this pitch is going to bounce off of his helmet all the way into the stands. Renz a little PO'd. He flips his bat, heads to first base. That ball literally bounced off of his helmet into the crowd. Thank goodness for the helmet. It was invented back in the 1920s after Ray Chapman got beamed in the face and would eventually die about a week later. They decided that batting helmets probably should be installed, and they have been wearing them since the 1930s on a regular basis. Praise the batting helmet. Tim Duff now at the bats. Squares away, shows bunt, and Sopko's pitch will cut the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Tim Duff is 0 for his last 15, and he has struggled against right-handers as he's only hit 125. So Duff, obviously in there as a catcher for his defensive purposes. He's got a strong arm, and he does a great job catching these guys, but he's had a difficult time with the bat this year. Tim Duff, though, has 2 men on base. He squares away. The third baseman and first baseman are in. Duff will pull it back as it is now 1-1. Now, one thing that the Provo Angels have been practicing is those bunts where they show bunt, and right as the pitch is coming in, they pull it back and slap a hit down the line. And Duff is one of the guys who has been doing it pretty successfully. The 1-1, and now LeBlanc is picked off, and now the ball gets into center field. So LeBlanc will take third base, and Renz heads to second. Phil Sopko had Joshua LeBlanc picked off at second, but he underthrew the shortstop, and it rolled into center field. So that'll be an error on the pitcher, E1, if you're scoring at home. Renz now at second, LeBlanc at first. And now let's see how Tim Duff approaches this at-bat. He is no longer showing bunts. He is now ready to hit away. The 1-1 pitch. It'll be a strike inside part of the plate, 1-2. So LeBlanc, who looked like he was a dead duck, ends up making the pitcher make a bad throw to second. Runners at third base and second. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tim Duff, nobody out. Phil Sopko, the righty, comes in with the pitch, and it'll be slapped right back to the mound. Sopko throws over to first base, and that's the first out of the inning. So either way you look at it, that at-bat by Tim Duff wasn't necessarily what he expected. 1 gone, and now Chris Walston digs in. I was talking with Chris Walston before the game, and he said, you know, a lot of my power comes from my arms. He says that he doesn't do a good job with his legs, sitting on his backside, getting his legs involved in the at-bats. Twisting, the rotation. Chris Walston said that's one thing that I definitely want to work on. First pitch will be a ball, 1-0. Chris Walston, a lot of power, 6'6", and the infield is playing in on him. So if he smokes a liner, it could hurt somebody. So hopefully these infielders are on their toes. 1 ball, no strikes. Sopko's next pitch will be low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Chris Walston's been tearing it up in his last 3 games. A .455 hitter. So Chris is doing a great job getting the ball on bat, playing defense, and making his numbers worth something. Remember, he started off the year 0 for 18. 2-0. Phil Sobko delivers. Walston, foul ball, right field side. LeBlanc is at third base. J.R. Renz at second. The Angels lead 2-0 here at Lindquist Field. Chris Walston out of San Diego, California. This is his third year playing professional baseball, and it'll be his final year at the rookie league level. 2-1. The right-hander on the mound gets the sign from his catcher, Pujols, delivers, and Walston chases a high fastball, 2-2. But that's one thing, though, that Walston definitely will have to work on if he wants to continue his climb through the Angels system. That's rotating his hips when he swings and getting his legs involved. Getting that power on his back leg, switching it to the front. The Charlie Lau style of hitting. 2-2. Sobko's pitch, swing and a miss outside. Chris Walston heads back to the dugout with the strikeout. He shakes his head because he knew it. Shouldn't have chased that outside pitch. Walston will have other at-bats this game, and now with 2 outs on the board, the Angels look like they are that close to stranding runners in scoring position. However, Richard Giannotti is at the bat. Giannotti, a left-hander. Phil Sobko with the leg kick. First pitch will be popped up into center field. Justin Ruggiano will get underneath it, and that will end the inning. So the Angels, having runners at third and second, they can't get it done. They still lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second here at Lindquist Field. Bottom of the second inning, Luis Castilla, Danny Batts, and B.J. Richmond to take their at-bats for the Ogden Raptors. Provo Angels, 2 runs on 2 hits. Ogden Raptors, no runs on no hits early in this game against the Raptors. It's game 3 of this series. The Angels will be back in town Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, taking on the Ogden Raptors for 2 games, and then the Casper Rockies before the Angels go on the road for a couple games up in Idaho Falls. And you can listen to all the Provo Angels action here on sportsjuice.com. Coming out to the ballpark if you're in the area and support your Provo Angels. A little later on during the game, we have the All-Star results as far as the big leagues are concerned. A lot of the rosters have been finalized, so we'll take a look on the big league roster and kind of get you up to date with all the players who will be participating this year in Houston. Luis Castilla, a free agent pickup in 2001, will be leading things off here in the second. Castilla, 4 hits in 13 at-bats against the Provo Angels. However, 2 of his 4 hits have been home runs. But Castilla has been struggling against the Angels. A .451 hitter overall this season. He's currently second in the league in that department. Fernando Rodriguez with the first pitch, and it'll be a good breaking ball on the outside, 0-1. Luis Castilla, a right-hander, big ball player, Has a lot of power in his swing. The 0-1 pitch by Rodriguez is outside, 1-1. Last year, Castillo was here in Ogden and I believe ended the season with like a 285 average. This year, he started off in Columbus out of the South Atlantic League, but was struggling. They sent him down to Ogden. Takes the ball inside, 2-1. And it just goes to show you when you play single-A baseball and struggle, you get sent down to the rookie league level and you dominate. Well, Sean Rodriguez of the Angels and now Luis Castillo of the Raptors are testimonies of that. Foul ball, back behind the screen, 2-2 the count. Fernando Rodriguez, like I mentioned, in his only start of the season, it came against the Ogden Raptors, and he pitched 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and struck out 6. Now let's see if he can match those numbers tonight against the Raptors in a pivotal game. The 2-2 pitch, it'll be a ball just on the outside part of the plate. Luis Castillo jumping up and down, thinking that might have been a strike. Wipes the sweat away as it was a ball. 3-2 count, and it'll be fouled back, 3-2. So Castillo, Danny Batts, and B.J. Richmond, bottom of the second, Lindquist Field, the sun is out. There's absolutely no wind tonight. Last night we had the high winds. The night before there were high winds, but this evening it's pretty calm out there. The 3-2 pitch to Castillo, and again it'll be fouled straight up in the air and straight behind the ballpark here down the first base side. The Provo Angels, Ogden Raptors. Pretty good rivalry between these teams. And the next pitch to Castillo, it'll be inside for a ball. So Castillo heads over to first base with the leadoff walk, and now Danny Batts will be the batter. Both these teams, the Raptors and the Angels, playing 15 games against each other during the season. And it's probably going to come down to the final couple games to decide who makes it into the playoffs this year and who doesn't. Still plenty of baseball to be played. Danny Batts from the right side. He'll take a strike on the outside of the plate. 0-1. Danny Batts, a .438 hitter overall this season. Of course, that average is a lot lower here at home as he hits .273 in front of this Lindquist Field crowd. But still, a .438 average is good enough for one of the tops in the league. Line drive right up the middle. Rodriguez ducked underneath the pitch and it allowed it to go into center field for a base hit. Rodriguez might have been able to get a glove on that and slow it down, but instead, Danny Batts singles through the middle for the first hit of this game for Ogden. And now 2 men on base, runner at first and second for B.J. Richmond. B.J., a 7th-round draft pick this year out of Spartanburg Methodist Junior College. Richmond batting from the left with 2 men on base. First pitch, it's fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Richmond, a very good hitter in front of his home crowd, a .421 average. But Richmond, an average hitter with runners on base. So a lot of his damage at home has come when there's been nobody on. Fly ball down the left field side, dropping quickly, but it'll go foul as Cliff Remele gives it chase. Now no balls and 2 strikes. And it's interesting because in the game of baseball, you have players who hit the ball really well when runners are on base. And then you have other guys who hit the ball really well when there's nobody on. And it has to do with pressure. Sometimes guys might feel a little pressure if there's somebody on in front of him. And that is the case for B.J. Richmond. He's a great hitter at home, but when runners are on base, he has struggled. 0-2. Fernando Rodriguez, delivery, and it is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fernando, an 18th-round draft pick. A good athlete for Fernando. He's put up some good numbers so far. Next pitch, it'll be foul back. 1-2 remains the count. I guess if you look at the entire list for the Provo Angels and you try to get an idea of where their strengths and weaknesses are, one of their weaknesses might be their bullpen and their pitching. Of course, they have committed a lot of errors the first week of the season, but that has changed a bit. The 1-2 pitch is chased by Richmond. It's inside, and he will head back to the dugout with a strikeout. Richmond is out number 1. 2 men are on base. Bottom of the second. The right-hander, Justin Ruggiano, making his way in. Well, the Angels are definitely going to do a lot to improve that pitching, and Zeke Zimmerman has really had some deep discussions with his pitchers. Ruggiano from the right, he'll take a strike on the outer third of the plate, 0-1. Ruggiano, a good hitter at home, a .385 average. And he's a pretty good hitter when runners have been on base. Rodriguez looks to second. Now will come home with the pitch, and it'll be inside, 1-1. Fernando Rodriguez, a right-hander with 2 runners on base behind him. It's a 1-1 count to Ruggiano. Here it comes. And a foul ball right field side makes it now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the second inning, the Provo Angels with 2 runs, the Ogden Raptors with no runs. And keep it on tonight. If you want to have a little baseball history lesson, we do that every night here at the ballpark as we look over our This Date in Baseball history list. A lot of great things happening in the game of baseball. That's a gapper. It'll be a base hit into left center. That'll roll all the way to the wall. 1 run is going to score. 2 runs are going to score. Ruggiano is going to get a double, and that ties the game up. A good relay by Richard Giannotti in center field, but unable to make the throw as both Luis Castilla and Danny Bass score, and it is now 2-2 on a Ruggiano line drive double. A double into that gap in left center. Travis Denker will make his way in. Denker, a right-hander, 21st round draft pick last season. Fernando Rodriguez waiting and delivering the first pitch. It'll be a strike, 0-1. It was a 1 ball, 2 strike count to Ruggiano, but Rodriguez let something slip. And anytime it's a 1-2 count, a lot of times pitchers are going to opt to go away, but that pitch was dead red right over the plate. The 0-1, Ruggiano running, hit and run. It'll be a liner into right field. Dropping for a base hit, the runner will come home and score. A strong throw by J.R. Renz, but it's not enough as Travis Denker, a single into right field. It is now 3-2 Ogden Raptors. After the Angels started off with a 2-0 lead, Ogden has come right back. And with only 1 out on the board, Kenjil Pujols will dig in. So it's difficult here that Zeke Zimmerman and Tom Costner have to watch this happen because, you think a pitcher's cruising, but then he blows up. And that's really been the case here against the Raptors during this stand. Kenjil Pujols, a throw to first base. The runner gets back safely. Pujols is 1 for 24 this season. 1 hit in 24 at-bats. A free agent, 2003. Well, let's see what he can do against Fernando. Again, throwing to first base. The throw was low, but luckily Rodriguez, his first baseman, Chris Walson, able to hold it. So Kenjil Pujols, out of the Dominican Republic, at least playing in the Dominican Summer League last year, was a pretty good hitter. Here's the pitch. Outside part of the plate for strike 1. So the Raptors have scored 3 runs here in the bottom of the second to take a 3-2 lead against the Angels. Once again, offense is going to be the question mark throughout this game. Pujols waiting. Rodriguez said, here it is, and it's going to bounce in front of Tim Duff and now skips underneath his legs. It'll be a wild pitch. Fastball for, never mind, it's a pass ball. So Denker takes second. Looked like Duff had a underhanded to get the ball, but it skipped away from him. Now runner in scoring position, 1 out. Pujols with the 1-1 count against him. Fernando Rodriguez getting set, looks to second. Continues to look to second. Now will come home with the pitch, and it'll be grounded right to the second baseman, LeBlanc. He'll come up with it. Good throw to first base for out number 2. But Travis Denker will take third base. So a 4-3 grounder, 2 gone, and now back to the top of the order as Brandon Carter. Struck out in his first at-bat. Carter is 9 for 12 against the Provo Angels. Fernando, a good pitch away from getting out of this inning and then sending it back for his offense to see what the Angels can do. Carter will take a 1 high and outside, a ball and no strikes. Brandon Carter out of Old Dominion University. 556 batting average entering this game. It blows your mind. The 1-0 is fouled back, 1-1. 556 batting average means that if he continues to do this, he might just find himself getting a call up to Columbus and then maybe to the high A level. The 1-1 pitch to Brandon Carter. Rodriguez getting set inside, 2-1. Carter, a 40th round draft pick. Has a runner at third base. Nate Sutton, the third baseman, is actually playing in on the grass to cut off an opposite field ground ball. Swing and a miss, breaking pitch by Rodriguez here in the second. It's now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Travis Denker at third base. A 1-run contest. Rodriguez set. Here's the pitch, and it'll be a strike on the outside part of the plate. Carter did not like it as he throws his bat back to the dugout. That'll end the inning, but the Ogden Raptors have scored 3 runs. We head to the top of the third, and the Angels coming up.
Well, that's a good try anyway. Next, let's give our next round of applause to Mr. White for the now he's Jeff marching to the first base gate. Jeff marching to the first base gate technique.
Nate Sutton, Sean Rodriguez, and Cliff Rummelin to take their at-bats here in the top of the third. A 3-2 Ogden Raptors lead. This day in baseball history, July 5th, 2000, the Diamondbacks defeat the Astros 10-9 as Luis Gonzalez becomes the first Diamondback to ever hit for the cycle. A double, a single, a triple, and a home run. It's the first time that the feat is accomplished at the new Enrod Field, and Gonzalez also becomes just the 9th player to hit both for the cycle and have a 30-game hitting streak. Nate Sutton shows bunt. Look at his speed, gets to first base, and the ball bounces off of him. So Nate Sutton, a bunt single down that right in front of the catcher. A good throw, but Sutton has some speed as he opens things up. Good play by Nate. So he's on first base. As we just got done with this Dayton baseball history, and in the middle of it, Nate Sutton, bunt single. So Sutton at first base and Sean Rodriguez at the bat. Top of the third, 3-2 Ogden. Phil Sobko, the right-hander, delivers, and it'll be a ball inside, 1-0. Sean Rodriguez, a third-round draft pick last season. Third-rounders get some pretty good money as well. Rodriguez cruising around in a Land Rover that's all loped out. The 1-0 over the plate, a ball and a strike. Rodriguez hitting over 500 against the Ogden Raptors. He's been the one consistent player for this Provo Angels team. As other guys have struggled, Rodriguez has been consistently getting a few hits every game. Keep your eye on Nate Sutton at first base. 30 stolen bases this year at UC Santa Barbara, so he's got a lot of speed. And obviously he represents the tie and run early in this contest. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phil Sobko sets, and it'll be a ground ball to the shortstop. Good sliding play, but he'll throw it away. Nate Sutton will run all the way to third. He still sees that ball getting away. Sutton's going to make a hard turn. Here's a throw by the right fielder, B.J. Richmond, but Nate Sutton slides in safely, making it happen himself. The bunt single, then coming around on a misplay by the shortstop, Lucas May. It was a good attempt. He dove and threw from his knees, but he just underthrew his second baseman. So that'll be an error on the shortstop. Rodriguez making it all the way to third base on that miscue, and Rodriguez scoring. Nate Sutton scoring. Now 3-3 contest. Remele from the left side. First pitch he'll take is fouled back, 0-1. That was a great play by the shortstop, Lucas May, as he backhanded it towards third base, slid on his knees, and as he was sliding, he turned around and threw it to second, but just didn't have enough oomph on it. The 0-1 pitch, grounder opposite field. Third baseman couldn't come up with it, decides not to go home on the play, as Rodriguez was running on the ground ball. Travis Denker makes the out at first. And that's a good play because, you know what, you've allowed the Angels to score that run. Now you have nobody on base with 1 out. It works out pretty good for them. A couple of the fans out here booing because Denker had a chance to go home with it, but the catcher, Pujols, was saying, go to first, go to first. And I'll explain why that was a good play in just a minute. As the pitch to Andrew Toussaint is a strike. Anytime you have a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, it's going to disturb your pitcher. He's going to have a difficult time making his pitches. And obviously Pujols, the catcher, knew that. He said, let them take their run, and let's have our pitcher focus entirely on the batters without anybody on base. Toussaint right now has 2 strikes against him. Sobko with the 0-2 pitch. It'll be high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And obviously we can see that Phil Sobko has Andrew Toussaint behind in the count, and it might not have been that way had there been a runner at third base. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Toussaint is going to strike out for out number 2. 2 outs, Joshua LeBlanc makes his way in. The Angels with a 4-3 lead here at Lindquist Field. LeBlanc singled in the second inning. He's hitting .385 in his last 4 games. LeBlanc is another guy that opened up the season struggling. But he's doing a good job so far. 2 outs, LeBlanc shows bunt. He'll pull back and take a ball, 1-0. I believe he was 1 for 16 to start off the season, but has turned that around a bit. Top of the third inning here at Lindquist Field. Bill Sopko, the right-hander, waits and bunt shown, and it'll pop behind the plate. 1-1 the count. Don't forget, you can catch all your great Provo Angels action at Larry H. Miller Field this summer. Still plenty of home games, so come on out, support the Angels. Give us a call at 422-8225 and pick up your Provo Angels game tickets. 1 ball, 1 strike. LeBlanc, fly ball, right field, dropping quickly, sliding play by the right fielder, B.J. Richmond. And it looks like he does not make the catch. As home plate umpire saying safe. So a good attempt by B.J. Richmond, but as he slid, it looked like the ball hit the ground, then came up. And a bunch of the infielders are now talking to the umpire, saying, that's your call, not the home plate umpire. As the home plate umpire was the one who actually called it safe, that second base umpire was a lot closer. And B.J. Richmond running all the way in from right field as he's arguing with the umpire. He's a little upset. First baseman Luis Castilla telling him to go back to right field as it is official. Now their mascots, the Raptors, going to come out and get involved in this situation. So both umpires are going to talk. The manager for the Ogden Raptors is out standing on the mound as both of them are speaking. As they're showing up the sign right now saying he didn't have the ball, it bounced out, then he caught it. So right now, LeBlanc is at first base. They say they're going to charge him with an error on that play, but that is a very difficult play to make. They have to give LeBlanc a catch on that, but they're saying it's an error. So a hit for Joshua LeBlanc. He's at first base. Now it's going to be J.R. Renz at the bat. And that'll officially go a single to mid-right field. 2 outs, and J.R. Renz now the batter. You can hear these Ogden Raptor fans complaining and continuing to say, come on, Renz from the right side. First pitch will be a strike. 0-1. It's a good call by the umpire, though. Obviously, they had a better view than we did. Might have really been caught, but sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Renz from the right. He's been an excellent hitter with the runners on base. LeBlanc with good speed at first. Phil Sopko now throws over to first base, and LeBlanc gets back safely. So 4-3, the Provo Angels on top in this contest. J.R. Renz from the right side. The wind is now starting to pick up as it's blowing from left to right. And time is called by J.R. Renz and the home plate umpire. So the wind picking up. It's going to favor left-handers tonight and help these right-handed batters. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Renz. 0-2. J.R. was hit in the head in the second inning and was stranded at second base as both him and LeBlanc were stranded in scoring position. But now with 2 outs on the board, what does Renz have for us? LeBlanc running, the pitch is outside, a low throw by the catcher, and that ball will bounce away from Lucas Mays, so LeBlanc steals the base. LeBlanc in scoring position, good eye by J.R. Renz as he takes it outside, 1-2 the count. Renz digs back in. LeBlanc now at second. Top of the third inning. Phil Sopko, the right-hander. Getting the sign from Pujols, his catcher, and inside to make it 2-2. Provo Angels trying to get something going again here in the third. LeBlanc at second. A 2-2 count to J.R. Phil Sopko, the pitcher, thinking about what he wants to throw, now delivers. And the 2-2 is low and outside to fill things up. Again, we're in the top of the third inning. The Provo Angels putting 2 runs on the board in the first, and then putting 2 more runs on the board here in the third. As it is 4-2. Renz with a full count against him. What pitch will he see? Sopko, fastball outside. Renz will chase it and strikes him out to end the inning. LeBlanc stranded at second. We head to the bottom of the third. The Raptors now down by a run as it is 4-3 Provo.
Get set, go!
Hey, Angels fans, if you have young kids and you're thinking about getting them involved with something to do this summertime, don't let them hang around the house playing video games all day, eating all your cookies and milk, and making you go to the grocery store and buy them more food. Get them involved with the Angels Future Angels Club. Join the Angels Future Club for only $10. You get into all Saturday games, and as of right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more Saturday games remaining. $10, they get a free T-shirt. They get to have a mini camp with the Angel players and coaches, and they get a souvenir game program, all for $10. So get your kids involved with the Future Angels Club and get them out of the house. Bottom of the third, Lucas May, Blake DeWitt, and Luis Castilla to go up against Fernando Rodriguez, who had a difficult inning in the second. Rodriguez gave up 3 runs, but his Angels are back on top. A 4-3 game as Rodriguez will face off against the meats of the order. Lucas May from the right side, first pitch. It'll be a strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. Rodriguez with 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings of this contest. He's had good location, but some of the Raptor batters have also guessed his location. Fly ball in the center field. Giannotti goes back, then he turns around, comes back in shallow center field, picks that ball up. 1 gone. Let's go ahead and look over the big league scoreboard and let you know what's happening in the big leagues. Texas Rangers defeat the Indians 8-5, and the Chicago Cubs getting shut down by Ben Sheets and the Milwaukee Brewers 1-0 in Milwaukee. First pitch to DeWitt will be a strikeout side, 0-1. Also a final, the St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Reds 4-1. Jason Isringhausen with his 19th save and Chris Carpenter with his 9th victory. DeWitt chases another pitch outside, 0-2. And finally, the Colorado Rockies defeat the Giants 7-4. In San Fran, no home runs hit in that game. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Blake DeWitt. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Angels 4, Ogden Raptors 3. Rodriguez delivering a ball outside, 2-2. Blake DeWitt struck out on 3 pitches in his first at-bat this game. A young high schooler, fresh out of high school, DeWitt pulls the ball down the first base side. That'll be a line drive, rolls all the way to the wall. DeWitt will take second base with the stand-up double. So on a 2-2 count, Blake DeWitt continues his hot hitting here at home as he doubles right past the diving Chris Walston down the right field line. And now with 1 out, Luis Castilla comes up with runners in scoring position. Luis Castilla has been terrorizing pitchers here in the Pioneer League to open up the season. A powerful right-hander. What will Rodriguez throw? Good breaking ball for strike one. Castillo walked to open up the second inning and would eventually score. As it is 4-3 Provo Angels right now, but the Raptors, again, are threatening. Next pitch. Ooh, Castillo chases one outside, takes a strike. Now no balls and 2 strikes. Castillo, 451 hitter. And just to let you know how huge a 451 average is, that means he gets base hits 45% of the time he comes into bat. The 0-2 by Fernando Rodriguez. Here it is. Breaking ball. Strikes out Luis Castillo on 3 pitches. And there are 2 outs. That's a huge out for Rodriguez because now he doesn't need to worry about that runner at second base as much. Danny Batts will dig in from the right side. However, Danny Batts, the best hitter in the league when runners have been in scoring position. 533 average. So things aren't easier for Batts. Or things aren't easier for Rodriguez. You face Castilla. Good job. Now you got to face Danny Batts. Here's the first pitch. Just low and outside. 1-0. Bottom of the third. 4-3 Provo Angels. Danny Batts out of the University of Rhode Island. A 406 hitter at the collegiate level. Overall this season, a 438 hitter. He's picked up where he left off in college, and that's hitting the ball with authority. It's outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Lovely Lindquist Field, a beautiful minor league ballpark. One of the nicer ballparks in the Pioneer League. At least that's until the Provo Angels move into their new ballpark at Parkway Crossing Stadium. 2 balls, no strikes. Riz. Full slot. You want a Riz? Full slot. And 2 Riz. I'll take the same. 4 Riz and full slot. 2 balls and 1 strike to Danny Batts from the right. And now Rodriguez stepping off the mound. So Blake DeWitt at second base. Bottom of the third. 4-3 Provo Angels. Danny Batts waiting. Here's the next pitch. And it'll be a ground ball right to the third baseman. Nate Sutton has to hurry. Makes a good strong throw to first. But beating it out is Danny Batts. Nate Sutton charging that ball like Mike Schmidt does a barehanded throw and then falls over. But Danny Batts able to beat it out as it is an infield single. So DeWitt is at third. Batts at first, and with 2 outs on the board, B.J. Richmond steps in. Don't forget, Angel fans, the Provo Angels will be back in town tomorrow as they take on the Ogden Raptors for 2, and then the Casper Rockies come in and play 3 games. B.J. Richmond, a 7th-round pick. Batting from the left side. First pitch. It'll be a ball outside. 1-0. 4 runs, 4 hits for Provo. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Raptors. Fernando Rodriguez getting set on the mound. Here's and he's going to fake the pitch home. The Raptors have played some very good baseball during this series against the Angels. Again, scoring 21 runs in the first game. And hitting a game-winning home run last night in the 8th to win 9-7. And tonight, with 2 outs on the board, they have runners at the corners and B.J. Richmond, the lefty, at the bat. 1-1. Fernando Rodriguez getting the sign from Duff And it'll be a high fastball, 2-1. B.J. Richmond, a .421 hitter at home this season, as opposed to .320 overall. So he's produced in front of this home crowd. Rodriguez looks to first. Now will come in, swing and a miss. And that evens things up at 2-2. Next inning, we'll have a This Date in Baseball history for you. We have some pretty interesting ones, and we'll read them off during the game and kind of make this a baseball history 101 class, if you want to call one so. That's another one of my passions, is not only broadcasting, but it's also studying the history of the game and getting in tune with why this country is such a wonderful place. Believe it or not, it's because of baseball. The 2-2 is outside, and it'll fill it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's for the love of the game. That's why we do what we do, and that's why everybody who works in baseball is in the baseball, because they love the game. DeWitt at third, Danny Batts at first base. The full count pitch grounded to the shortstop. Rodriguez, backhand, strong throw to first, not in time, and it'll skip away from Chris Walston. The runner slides into second base safely, so Walston having to go chase down and get the ball, and now they're going to call the runner out. So they call him out at second base. And that ends the inning. So it looks like he was safe when he slid in, but as he got up, he was tagged out. However, the Raptors tied the game up on an error. Blake DeWitt scores. We head to the top of the fourth. 4-4 contest. I put my head down.
There's your song for the night. And see everybody sing along.
Top of the fourth inning, back out here at lovely Lindquist Field. It's going to be Tim Duff, Chris Walston, and Richard Giannotti. It's all tied up 4-4 the score. First pitch to Duff. It'll be a ball, 1-0. So to say what happened on that play to end the third inning, it'll be an infield single. Rodriguez caught it deep in the hole, threw to first. The ball got away from the first baseman. But Walston made a heads-up play, threw to second. The runner was safe, but then as he was getting up to stand up, he was off the bag, and that's when the umpire called him out. The run scores. It's all tied up 4-4. Tim Duff, a ball and a strike against him. Phil Sobko waits, delivers, and it'll be foul into the Provo Angels bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It looks like the Angels have Fred Carney warming up in the bullpen. So Frederick getting set. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tim Duff. Sopko delivers. That's going to be a base hit into right field. So Tim Duff breaks up his 0 for 16 slump with a single here in the fourth to open things up. Tim Duff was 1 for 15 on the road this season, 0 for his last 16, but a clean single into right puts him on base, and Chris Walston will make his way up. Walston making that heads-up play, throwing to second base when you knew the guy was clearly going to be safe, but the play was made, and Walston, first pitch will be a ball outside, 1-0. Top of the fourth, 4-4 game out here at Lindquist Field. Good amount of fans to support their Ogden Raptors, and we hope for a good amount of fans to support our Provo Angels as the first of a 5-game homestand begins tomorrow. The 1-0 pitch. Chris Walston will foul it off third base side, 1 ball, 1 strike. Walston struck out in the second inning, but he's been hitting about .455 in his last 3 games. Walston out of Southern California, batting from the right side, and Phil Sopko getting set to go. Sopko set, ground ball to the shortstop. Should be playable by Lucas May. Steps on second, throws to first. And that'll be a 6-4-3 double play. So Walston, I'm sure, didn't have plans to hit into that double play, but he does. 6-4-3, 2 outs. And now Richard Giannotti will make his way in. We just got, me and Nate, the bus driver, just got some scrumptious looking ribs and some coleslaw up here in the press box. So between innings, we'll be scarfing down our ribs. First pitch to Giannotti's a strike, 0-1. Always the good thing about summertime and baseball and talking baseball, it's getting good food and hanging out. Giannotti laces a ball down the right field side, but it'll bounce foul by about a foot. Giannotti now down in the count, 0-2. There's rumors that Ogden has some good ribs, and these are some good ribs. It's said that they have some of the best ribs in the league, and I believe it. I had 4 earlier today. I have 4 more ribs in front of me. Yummy, yummy, yummy. They're from Famous Dave's. Oh, they're Famous Dave's ribs. Oof. The 0-2 pitch to Richard Giannotti. It's going to be a ball outside. 1-2 here in the fourth. Fernando Rodriguez will be getting set to pitch in the fourth. They have sat down Fred Carney. Giannotti from the left side will take a strike, looking right over the plate, ends the inning. So the Provo Angels going down 1-2-3 for the most part. We head to the bottom of the fourth, tie game. It's 4-4, and the Raptors coming up.
Every single fan in attendance tonight will win a spaghetti dinner courtesy of the Lowry. Send your tickets out to the late for August promoting to this $25 and the spaghetti dinner reserve.
Why don't you see that press box right over there in the other room? You go in there, they have water and stuff. See if there's any napkins. See if you can have one of the napkins. Just have water. Yeah. You got the napkins. If you don't, then I don't know how to eat these. They should give us silverware. Back out here at Lindquist Field, bottom of the fourth inning, and the new pitcher on the mound for the Angels is going to be Fred Carney. So Fernando Rodriguez's night is over after 3 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Fred Carney now on the mound. He'll face off against the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Raptors in tonight's Game 3 of this 3-game set. Carney on the year has 3 innings, 6 innings. He's only allowed 4 hits, no runs, and 7 strikeouts. So Carney has been one of those pitchers who has thrown extremely well for the Provo Angels. He's the only pitcher on this staff who has not allowed a run yet this season. And obviously we're up in the booth, so that baseball ritual of jinxing guys is not in effect, as we are nowhere close to the field. So Carney facing off against the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Justin Ruggiano doubled home the first 2 runs of the game for Provo in the 2nd inning. And he'll take a strike, 0-1. Fred Carney out of Norwalk, Connecticut, 33rd round draft pick this year. He begins his professional career, hard fastball. Ruggiano, a swing and a miss. And Justin's been a pretty good hitter at home. A .385 average here at Lindquist Field. But Fred Carney has been lights out for the Angels to open up this season. The 0-2 pitch is outside, 1-2. Both Fred Carney, Wayne Hedden, and Nick Green, those are your dominating pitchers out of the Angels bullpen. Also Mitch Arnold. So if you turn it over to those 4 guys every game, you're going to look at a pretty good game. And now the batter, Justin Ruggiano, calling time. This date in baseball history will give it to you right now, because Tim Duff is out on the mound talking with his pitcher. 1998, Toronto defeats Tampa Bay 2-1 with the help of 7 strong innings by Roger Clemens. Clemens ends up striking out Randy Wynn for his 3,000th career strikeout. Ground ball to the third baseman. Nate Sutton will gobble it up, steps, throws to first, and Chris Wilson trapping the ball in his glove on the ground. So Ruggiano grounds out 5-3 for out number 1. Travis Denker digs in. But again, it was this date, 1998, that Roger Clemens strikes out his 3,000th batter, and at that point, only 10 pitchers had ever reached that elusive mark of 3,000 strikeouts. Clemens looks like he's headed to the All-Star game this year. First pitch to Travis Denker. It'll be a ball outside, 1-0. Denker, a .222 hitter, but had that RBI single in the 2nd, which gave the Raptors their 3rd run of the game. 1 ball, no strikes. Carney with the leg kick, and this pitch will be swung on and missed. 1-1. In a couple minutes, we'll let you know about all the All-Stars going to Houston this year in the big leagues. The American League All-Star team, the National League All-Star team, who's starting, who's not, who's the reserves. There are 3 All-Stars this year who are 40 years old or older. Denker swings and misses 2-2. In fact, the 3 guys on this year's All-Star team who are 40 years of age or higher, Randy Johnson, Barry Larkin, and Roger Clemens, who are headed to the All-Star game. In fact, Roger Clemens will be the starting pitcher for this year's All-Star team, and his catcher will be his nemesis, Mike Piazza. The 2-2 pitch loped into left field. That'll bounce in front of Cliff Remele for a hard single to get things opened up with an out on the board. So Travis Denker, 2 for 2 in this game. Singles down the left field line, and now the 9-hitter, Kenjo Pujols, makes his way in. But yeah, Roger Clemens will be starting this year's All-Star game. He's pretty excited, as his catcher will be Mike Piazza, another starter for the All-Star team. Pujols, the right-hander, 1 for 25 to open up his 2004 season. Denker at first. Here's the pitch. That one is going to be hit the opposite field for a base hit, bouncing on the warning track. Denker going to make a hard turn at third base. The ball will bounce away from second baseman Joshua LeBlanc. Pujols gets into third base with a triple. So Kenjo Pujols makes it into third base with the triple. An RBI triple, that's giving the Raptors a 5-4 lead. Good piece of hitting by a guy who only had one hit in 25 at-bats. But he hits that one the opposite field, as it's now 5-4 Ogden. Brandon Carter will dig in. Carter, the left-hander, has 2 strikeouts today. First pitch to Carter will be a strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Infield drawn in. Fred Carney now in an interesting situation with 1 out and a runner on third base. And you're facing a guy who's hitting over 500. The 0-1 pitch. Foul ball, first base side. Seems like the runs are just going back and forth for these two teams as they're duking it out. Obviously, Ogden has won the series as they won the first 2 games. Let's see what Brandon Carter does from the left. Here's the pitch, and foul off to keep it at 0-2. So we were talking a little bit about the All-Star game and who's going, who's not going. All of a sudden, these batters start collecting hits left and right. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Brandon Carter heads back to the dugout. That's the 3rd time that Carter has struck out through the first 4 innings of this game. He's out number 2, and now Lucas May will dig in. Lucas May has a ground out and a fly out today. 2 outs, runner at third. Carney delivering. First pitch is a breaking ball. May swing and a miss. And it is 0-2. So Carney wants to get out of this jam and see if his Angels team can make something happen. Foul ball behind the plate. 0-2. Provo Angels collecting 4 runs on 5 hits. The Ogden Raptors collecting 5 hits on 8 runs. The 0-2 pitch just outside, and that makes it now 1-2. The Raptors, 10-6 on the season. And next pitch is outside, 2-2. And my partner Nate makes a pretty good point. As the sun right now is in Fred Carney's eyes. The entire infield is just about covered in shadows except with the pitcher standing, but it doesn't matter. Fred Carney forces Lucas May to chase a breaking pitch, and that is out number 3. So Carney gets that jump done despite giving up a run as the Raptors are now on top, 5-4. We head to the 5th. back at here at Lindquist Field, top of the 5th inning. It'll be Nate Sutton, Sean Rodriguez, and Cliff Remole to take their at-bats. It is a one-run contest. 5 runs on 8 hits for the Raptors, 4 runs on 5 hits for the Provo Angels. Let's see if the Angels could get this game back into grasp as they're trailing by 1 run. Nate Sutton, 2 for 2 today. Sutton from the left side. Phil Sopko set in the first pitch, looped into center field. It might be over the head of Justin Ruggiano, but he'll make a running catch for Rob Nate. So Ruggiano going back. Nate Sutton is retired for out number 1. And it'll be, with 1 out on the board, Sean Rodriguez coming in. Rodriguez has been on base twice today via a walk and an error. However, he's 0 for 1 this game. Batting from the right side. First pitch is inside, 1-0. Shadows in left field, sunlight in right field. The only problem is, as a right-handed batter, it's very difficult to go the opposite way, especially when you're at this level, because you haven't quite mastered that ability to hit to the opposite field. A lot of times at this level, when guys hit to the opposite field, it's on accident. 2 balls, no strikes to Sean Rodriguez. Top of the 5th, Phil Sopko set, and the pitch will come in and just clip right past him, as it is now 3 balls and no strikes. Rodriguez is playing very good ball with the Provo Angels. He got sent down last week, and entering tonight's game, Rodriguez, 14 hits in 29 at-bats, 3 doubles, a triple, and a couple of home runs. Inside, Rodriguez takes a walk. He'll head over to first base with a 1-out base on balls, and Cliff Remole will make his way to the bat. Ogden 5, Provo Angels 4. Why don't you come out and support your Provo Angels Tuesday and Wednesday? The Ogden Raptors will be in town, and let's give them heck, as they've been cursing the Angels and taunting them throughout this series. Why don't we do the same in Provo and taunt the Ogden Raptors? They'll be in town Tuesday and Wednesday. First pitch to Cliff Remole is a strike, 0-1. Remole from the left side. And the right-hander, Phil Sopko, fakes to first base. Sopko struggles with runners on base. He's had a difficult time getting guys out in this spot. Now let's see what he does on the 0-1 pitch. Here it is. It'll be low, 1-1. Cliff Remole, a left-hander, does pretty good against right-handed pitching. Hits about 300. Of course, overall this year he's hitting about 280, so it makes sense that he does good against the right-handers. Sopko throws over to first. 5-4, the Ogden Raptors leading here in Ogden, Utah. We're at Lindquist Field. Clifford the Red Dog at the bat. And again throws over to first base. The runner gets back safely. Phil Sopko has a quick throw to first. Rodriguez getting back safely, but luckily that throw was high because he would have been thrown out. Remole has been struggling against the Ogden Raptors. However, he does have an RBI in this game, but he's 0 for 2. The RBI came on the ground out. Sopko again throws to first, and this time they catch Sean Rodriguez. So Rodriguez being thrown out, Phil Sopko picking him off at first. Rodriguez doesn't like the call. He heads back to the dugout a little disappointed. But he is picked off after Sopko continued to throw that way. You would think that enough is enough, but he got caught snoozing. 2 outs, and the next pitch to Remole is high, 2 balls and 1 strike. The Raptors 5, the Provo Angels 4. It's game 3 of this 3-game set against the Raptors before heading back to town. The 2-1 pitch, Remole waiting. This one flaring into center field, but Ruggiano will have a play on it. That'll end the inning. A runner was on base, but he gets picked off. 1, 2, 3 goes the inning. We head to the bottom of the fifth. The Raptors 5 and the Provo Angels 4.
And the third throw, a whole bunch of prizes for putting an autograph photo to O'Hara. Okay, Bob, for 5,000, fire away. Not too bad. $4,000. Okay, so still have a photograph.
You know that's possible, right?
Oh, nice shot. Give me one after that nice cup of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Your City Club Lucy, Sunday to Denker. Not far after the ball game. City Club Lucy.
He's in the wrist right now.
For the Raptors, the ball has to be pretty much.
Bottom of the fifth inning, Blake DeWitt, Luis Castilla, and Danny Batts take their shots against Fred Carney, working his second inning right here. Bottom of the fifth, DeWitt with a double already today, and he will take a strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. If you've just joined us, the Provo Angels took a 2-0 lead in the first inning, but the Raptors came back, scoring 3 runs in the second. The Angels then took the lead in the top of the third. They put 2 runs on the board, so they led 4-3, but the Raptors tied it in the third and then took the lead in the bottom of the fourth. 1-1 pitch to DeWitt. That'll be a base hit again to the gap of left center. Rolling all the way to the wall, DeWitt will get his second double of the game. And this is a guy who absolutely cannot hit on the road, but has done a great job hitting here at home. A leadoff double for DeWitt. Luis Castillo will make his way in. And now Nick Green warms up in the Provo Angels bullpen. And Nick Green, one of those guys I mentioned, was an outstanding pitcher as well. Castilla from the right side. He'll chase the pitch outside, 0-1. Castilla walked in the second inning, scored a run, struck out in the third inning, and right now officially is 4 for 14 against Provo Angels pitching. The 0-1, and it'll be outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 5-4, Ogden Raptors on top. The Raptors, 10 wins, 6 losses. They have the most wins in the league. And the Angels, 7-9. They're 2 games under 500. Castilla lines the ball right past Chris Walston at first base. That'll go into right field. And J.R. Renz with the strong throw home to keep Blake DeWitt at third base. Walston at first didn't even jump. He just kind of lunged for it, and it went right over his head. So he might have thought he was going to catch it, but it was over him. Either way, runners in the corners, nobody out. Nick Green is hurrying in the bullpen as he's trying to get warm so he can come in. Obviously, though, Zeke Zimmerman is wanting his pitcher, Fred Carney, to pitch out of his own jam. Danny Batts. 2 hits already today, a single in the second, an infield single in the third. And Batts, like I mentioned in his last at-bat, .533 hitter with runners in scoring position. The highest in the league. So Batts from the right side. He kind of has like a Pete Rose type batting stance. He's crouched over. Grounder, fair. Nate Sutton has to make a strong throw to first, and Wilson will make the play. It'll be a hit. So Danny bats an infield single. A tough play for Nate Sutton. He got a good throw on it. But the big guy, Chris Walston, just couldn't keep his foot on the bag as it pulled him off. So bats his second infield single of the game. And it is now 6-4 Ogden. Blake DeWitt scores on the play. Castilla at second. And now B.J. Richmond getting set. Carney's first pitch. It'll be a ball, 1-0. Carney now has given up 2 runs in this game. The first 2 runs he's given up on the season, and I probably did jinx him by saying that he's the only guy on the team who is not allowed to run yet. Next pitch to Richmond is outside, 2-0. B.J. Richmond, an excellent hitter at home, 421 average to be exact, and now Zeke Zimmerman makes a slow walk out to the mound. Basically, Zeke is making some time for his pitcher, Nick Green, to finish warming up. Nobody out, runners at first and second. Already 11 hits for the Ogden Raptors in this game. And it's always very difficult as an announcer to be up here in the booth and to watch your team from the view that I have, to see them make great plays, to make good pitches, and then to fall behind in batters and give up base hits that, in other words, could have resulted in another situation. Obviously, 11 hits is a lot for the Ogden Raptors. Richmond batting from the left side. 2 men are on base, nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. Carney delivers. And it's outside, 3-0. Justin Ruggiano in the on-deck circle, and then Travis Denker to follow. So things do not get easier for this Provo defense. Ruggiano has a 2-run double. Denker's 2 for 2 today. And B.J. Richmond will take a fastball at the knees for strike number 1. No Angels team has ever started off the season under 500. The Angels have. Foul ball by Richmond, 3-2. The Angels, 7-9 on the season, 2 games under 500. The team first came here in 2001. They've been blessed to have some good teams. This year they have a great team. They just got to get it together. The 3-2 pitch. It'll be a swing and a miss. Richmond strikes out for out number 1 here in the 5th. Angel fans, we urge you to come on down to the ballpark, support your Provo Angels, and go ahead and pick up the souvenir game program, pick up some memorabilia from the gift shop, and get involved. The Angels are here to stay. 10-year lease they've signed at the new ballpark, Parkway Crossing Stadium. Ruggiano set, and the first pitch he'll take is a ball outside, 1-0. And if you are a season ticket holder, or if you're a fan of the Angels and you feel like you want to support them more, talk to your local businesses about doing some advertising with us. Inside, 2-0. It's a great way to get your name involved with baseball. It's a great way to have fans come out to the ballpark, see your name everywhere, and under relaxing circumstances, get to know you a little better. Give us a call. Plenty of opportunities. The 2-0 pitch to Ruggiano. It'll be a foul ball right field side. 2 runners are on base. It is a 6-4 Ogden Raptors lead. I'm your host, Jacob Peters, calling all the Provo Angels baseball this season. And my partner, Zach Frazier, will be on the mic during home games, during the middle innings of home games. 2-1 pitch in the dirt, 3-1. And then next season, me and Zach plan on giving you all the Provo Angels action, both of us together, as we're looking to make this a teammate tandem, whatever you want to call it. 3-1 to Justin Ruggiano. It's a hitter's count, 1 gone. Fred Carney, possibly the last batter he'll face. Here's the pitch, and that'll be a base hit into the gap of right center. That one will roll all the way to the wall. Coming home to score is Luis Castilla. J.R. Renz comes up with the throw. Now there's a play at the plate, but it'll be in time. Taking third base will be Justin Ruggiano. So Castilla scores. Danny Batts comes around from first base to score. It'll be a line drive double by Justin Ruggiano into right center. And then he takes third base on the throw. 8-4, the Ogden Raptors on top. And with the runner at third base, this might just be the last batter that Carney faces, but we'll officially wait and see. Travis Denker, the right-hander on the mound, or at the plate. Infield drawn in. First pitch will be a ball, 1-0. These 4 runs, all against Fred Carney, as he is now in line for the decision in this game. The win or the loss, whatever happens. Swing and a miss by Denker, 1-1. He's the pitcher of record right now for the Angels. Denker with a single in the second and a single in the fourth. He's got an RBI and a run today. The 1-1 pitch. Popped back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Denker, a 21st round draft pick in 2003. Fred Carney getting set, and this one will be chopped to Nate Sutton, who's going to go home with the play, and now they say it was a foul ball, so Denker will go back to the plate. Good play by Sutton, but he fielded it just on the foul side of third base, made a good throw home. But we got to redo everything as Ruggiano heads back to third. Bottom of the 5th inning. 8 runs, 12 hits for the Raptors. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Provo Angels. Denker waiting from the right. Carney's pitch is popped up in the air, drifting back behind the stands and near the press box. It'll land on the roof. And it's now 1-2. This day in baseball history, we have another one for you. 1994, the Angels catcher, Chris Turner, leads the Angels to a 10-3 win over the Red Sox. He entered the game hitting only 138, but Chris Turner stroked 5 hits. Fly ball into right field. Renz should be underneath it. He's going to try to make a throw at the plate. Here's the throw. Duff will be there, applies the tag. The runner is safe. It looks like the guy completely missed home plate. A long throw by J.R. Renz, but Tim Duff not able to make the tag. It is a sacrifice fly, and now it is a 9-4 Raptors lead. The Raptors have opened up the floodgates, and that'll be it. Carney being taken out of the game. Kenjon Pujols will be the batter. Nick Green will come into pitch. We'll go to a break. Bring it back out here to lovely Ogden, where your Angels now trail by 5 runs.
DeWitt for the Provo Angels, number 2, Nick Green.
Back out here, bottom of the 5th inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Angels. It's Nick French Fry Green. That's going to be taking on Kenjo Pujols. 3 runs have crossed the plate for the Ogden Raptors. Fred Carney is taken out of the game after an inning and 2/3. He's given up 6 hits, 5 runs, and 3 strikeouts. So Nick Green on the mound. 0-1 to Pujols. Green getting set. And the next pitch fouled back, 0-2. The reason why we call Nick Green Nick French Fry Green is because, well, the boy loves French fries. Every time we go out and eat, he orders extra French fries, and he's just as good as a French fry. He's just as good as a pitcher as French fries are to eat with hamburgers. 0-2 to Pujols. In fact, green is to baseball what French fry is to hamburger. Pujols from the right side. Here's the 1-2 when it is outside to even things up. 2 outs on the board. Bottom of the 5th. If Green can get out of this inning, most likely they'll keep him on for a while. He's put up some pretty impressive numbers this year. Next pitch, and that'll be popped up into right field. J.R. Renz will come on, make the play, and that'll end the inning. So Green gets his man out, but the Raptors put 3 runs on the board as we head to the top of the 6th. Raptors 9 and the Provo Angels 4.
Give it up to his right place. By the way, there are these book runners who win the Miss Provo Beauty Pageant prize, ladies and gentlemen.
We're back out here at Lindquist Field. I'm your host, Jacob Avarola Peters, the voice of Provo Angels baseball, and Phil Sopko. His night is finished after 5 innings of work. Sopko giving up 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them are earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Wesley Wright now on the mound for the Ogden Raptors. And Wesley Wright out of Montgomery, Alabama, a 7th-round draft pick last season. Wesley Wright, 3 games, 6 innings. He's given up 11 hits and 11 runs and 8 walks in his 6 innings pitched. So hopefully, the Angels can do some damage against this left-hander. Andrew Toussaint, Joshua LeBlanc, and J.R. Renz to take their at-bats here in the 6th. 9 runs, 12 hits for the Raptors, 4 runs, 5 hits for Provo. And the first pitch to Toussaint is going to be a strike, 0-1. So Phil Sopko in line for the victory. Fred Carney in line for the loss. Toussaint, line drive, base hit into left field. Clean piece of hitting, hit it on a frozen rope. Toussaint is on first base, and now his collegiate teammate Joshua LeBlanc steps in. LeBlanc with 2 singles today. He continues his hot hitting in his last 5 games or so. First pitch to LeBlanc will be a ball outside. Phil Sopko in line to pick up his first win of the season, while Fred Carney in line to pick up the loss. High and inside to LeBlanc, 2 balls and no strikes. And I don't think Wesley Wright wants to be throwing a high and inside to Joshua LeBlanc. This guy with a muscular build, he's a tough ball player. Wesley Wright, I'm sure, is aware of that, as it's now 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out, Toussaint at first. Here's the pitch. And it is away, 3-0. Wesley Wright, a left-hander out of Alabama. The 3-0. And it'll cut the plate, outer third of the plate. Now 3-1 to Joshua. The sun is setting here in Ogden, Utah, as the lights are on. The field is completely covered in shade, and now it's transferring over to ballpark lights. LeBlanc takes another strike, 3-2. Good. Down by 5 runs. Wright throwing over to first. The Angels obviously have to get something going here. They led at one point in this game by a score of 2-0 and then 4-3. For the Raptors have come back and have scored 5 unanswered points. 5 unanswered runs. What am I, basketball? Here's a 3-2. Outside, LeBlanc heads to first base for the walk. So runner at first, runner at second. J.R. Renz now makes his way to the bat. And Renz today is 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch. Renz has struggled against the Ogden Raptors this year, but let's see how he attacks this left-hander. Renz has 2 hits and 14 at-bats against lefties, so he hasn't been very effective against the southpaws. Renz will take the first pitch low, 1 ball, no strikes. Lindquist Field, good amount of fans tonight. Not as many as we saw Saturday, but of course Saturday was a fireworks show, so of course they were sold out. 1 ball, no strikes. Renz waiting. He'll pop this one straight up in the air, and it'll come straight back and land behind the roof onto the street. 1-1. The Ogden Raptors, minor league affiliate of the LA Dodgers. The 1-1 to Renz. Low and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll have some more of this date in baseball histories for you. Also our nightly Angels trivia question. and get you set for the upcoming series with the Raptors and the Rockies. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The lefty delivers. It's an inside pitch. Did he go? And he did not. As it's a ball, 2-2. Down by 5 runs, but JRMs can make this game interesting right here. As there are 2 men on base and nobody out. Right with the pitch. He will strike out Renz. Out number 1. 2-2 pitch was a strikeout. Tim Duff, now the batter. Duff, a right-hander out of the University of Tampa. 300 hitter there with 7 home runs. A free agent pickup by the Angels. Singled in the 4th inning to break up his 0 for 16 slump. Let's see if he can get another one here with 2 men on base. It'll be a strike, 0-1. Wesley Wright kind of has that Tom Gordon look. And if you follow Major League Baseball, he almost looks just like Tom Gordon. By the way, Gordon going to the All-Star game with the Yankees. Runners are going. Pitch is in the dirt, and it'll be a double steal as Toussaint takes third. Second base, LeBlanc takes a double steal. Good job. The catcher, Kenjing Pujols, caught the ball, but it fell out of his glove as he stood up. A 1-1 count to Duff. He was in the same situation in the 2nd inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd, but was unable to capitalize. He'll take a ball high now, 2-1. Tim Duff waiting patiently. A base hit would be huge. He'll take one high. It's now 3-1. And if you needed a base hit, this might be the time because there is clearly, on a 3-1 count, this is a situation you can capitalize on. 3 balls, 1 strike. Tim Duff will foul it back to the screen as he fills things up at 3-2. Toussaint at third base, Joshua LeBlanc at second. We're in the top of the 6th inning here at Lindquist Field. The Raptors 9 runs, Provo Angels 4 runs. It's a full count. Duff will take one low and inside. He will head over to first base with the leadoff walk. So the bases are loaded for Chris Walston. Walston struck out in the 2nd inning, grounded into a double play in the 4th. If anybody can take advantage right here, it's going to be the right-hander. Bases are loaded. Top of the 6th, 1 hard swing of the bat can make this a 1-run game. Here's the pitch. Base hit up the middle by Walston. Toussaint will score. LeBlanc will hold up at third base. The ball was hit so sharply that 1 run scores. The Angels are still down by 4 runs, so it's not close yet. But that definitely helps them as it's a line drive single through the middle, and now it's going to be the leadoff hitter, Richard Giannotti. Activity in the Ogden Raptors bullpen. Giannotti switches it over. First pitch, and he'll take a ball, 1-0. Richard Giannotti, a switch hitter now from the right side. Bases are loaded. He's 0 for 2 today, but let's see what Giannotti can do in this spot. Wesley Wright, the lefty. It'll be a strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Warming up in the Ogden Raptors bullpen, it's going to be Albanus Castilla. A base hit would be huge. Right with the pitch. Good breaking ball, and Giannotti chases it Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. LeBlanc at third, Tim Duff at second base, Walston at first. 1 out on the board, here it is. Swing and a miss, Giannotti strikes out. He slams his bat in anger because he knew that that pitch was inside, shouldn't have been chasing it. He heads back for round number 2. But now you got to face off against Nate Sutton. Nate has 2 hits today, hitting just about 500 on the season. And he's a .455 hitter with runners in scoring position. The pitch is outside. Pujols does a good job of holding on to the ball. Nate Sutton, with his parents in the crowd, has a chance to really make things interesting here. 1-0. Wright's next pitch. Going to be a strike. 1-1. His mother, his father, they're both at the ballpark tonight. Flew out from California. His brother is at the ballpark tonight. 1-1. Pujols catching the ball low and outside. Now 2-1. So talk about pressure. Nate Sutton in a spot where he can really show off to this Ogden crowd. Wesley Wright looks to first, comes in with the pitch, and it's going to be an inside strike, 2-2. Hopefully that umpire calling that a strike, but that was about as high as the bottom of a grasshopper's foot. 2-2 the count. They called it a strike. 2's across the board. Sutton waiting. He'll foul a ball back, barely gets a piece of it, and stays alive at 2-2. Nate Sutton in 32 at-bats this season. He has 4 strikeouts. He has an excellent eye, a good ability to make contact. Find the gaps, Nate. Find the gaps. 2-2 is fouled back. Trailing by 4 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. The Angels clearly need something to happen. And again, they've been given this golden opportunity with the bases loaded. Let's see if they can capitalize. 2's across the board. Gordon's pitch. And foul ball first base side. So Sutton fouling off 3 straight pitches. And again, that's just a testimony of how patient Nate Sutton is and how aware of the baseball he is. He's able to foul them off and keep things alive. They are loaded. 2 outs. The pitch, and again Nate Sutton will foul it back. Nate out of UC Santa Barbara, a 24th round draft pick, but he plays like a first round draft pick. He gets on base, makes things happen. Let's see if he can make something happen on this 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. That's a liner down the right field line. That'll be a base hit. 1 run is going to score. 2 runs are going to score. 3 runs are going to score. Nate Sutton with the triple, making it even as it is now 9-8. Talk about clutch hitting. Nate has been doing it all season long. Triples down that line, and it is now a 1-run game. Nate Sutton with his family here at the ballpark tonight. You know they're excited, as he has just made this interesting. This Ogden crowd completely quiet right now. A base-clearing triple by Nate Sutton. Runner third, and Sean Rodriguez the batter. And Nate is now going to be called Nate the Great Sutton. First pitch to Rodriguez is a strike, 0-1. So the Angels coming right back, scoring 4 runs here in the 6th. And they have made this an interesting game. The pitch to Rodriguez is outside. And oh yeah, by the way, it doesn't get much easier. Rodriguez, one of the best hitters in the league, is at the bat. The 1-1 pitch to Sean. He'll swing through it. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nate Sutton is responsible for 5 of the 8 runs the Angels have scored tonight. He's got 3 hits today. And clearly, if he continues to play at this level, he's going to get a chance to get called up to Cedar Rapids, if not Rancho. The 1-2 pitch. That's a line drive into center field, and this game is tied up. Sean Rodriguez had base hit up the middle. Sutton comes home to score. They have scored 5 runs here in the 6th. And Rodriguez, like I mentioned, he's a dominating hitter. The 9th man to come up to the bat steps in. The Angels have scored all 5 runs with 2 outs on the board. Rodriguez at first base. Cliff Remele, ground ball to short. Now he's going to bobble it momentarily. Goes to second, and the runner is safe. So the shortstop, Lucas May, bobbling the ball. It'll be an error. It'll be an E6. So Rodriguez at second. Remele at first, and now they have batted around the order, and the pitcher, manager, Travis Barbary, will take a slow trip out to the mound. They will make a call to the bullpen, and that'll end Wesley Wright's night. So just like that, the Angels have come back, scoring 5 runs. It's all tied up. This pitching change coming in. We'll be back after this break. I'm telling you, man, Nathan Sun is a ball player. That guy can hit.
For the Raptors, number 48, Alphonsus Castillo.
Back out here at Lindquist Field. New pitcher on the mound for the Ogden Raptors. It's Albanus Castilla, as Wesley Wright has given up 5 runs here in the 6th to tie things up. Thank you, Nate Sutton, for that base-clearing triple. As Andrew Toussaint now makes his way to the bat. 2 men are on base, 2 outs. Toussaint started the inning off with a single, and the first pitch by Castilla will be a foul ball down the third base side, 0-1. Albanus Castilla, 4 games, 10 innings. He's given up 2 runs, 7 hits, and 11 strikeouts. Castilla, a pretty good pitcher. He's sitting with a 1.69 ERA. The 0-1 pitch to Toussaint. It's a ball inside, 1-1. Rodriguez at second base. Cliff Remele at first. Toussaint with 2 home runs last night, and started the inning off by singling. 1-1. Castilla's next pitch, a big swing and a miss. Good location by Castilla as he went outside with the fastball, forcing Toussaint to lunge at it. Wow, the Angels scoring 5 runs, making a bit of a comeback here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Albanus waiting. Here's the pitch. Toussaint rips it, but foul down the third base side. In fact, all the pitchers in the Raptors bullpen jumped out of the way because the ball was heading right for them. So now Toussaint is fouling off some pitches, showing that he can battle. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men are on. Castilla delivering, breaking ball, and again, it's fouled back. Andrew Toussaint, quick wrists. He's got a good approach to the game. With 2 outs, there are 2 men on, and let's see how interesting the Angels can make this game. It ain't over yet. You would think the Raptors leading by 5 runs would be enough, but Provo has come right back. 1-2. Andrew Toussaint from the right side. Waiting, and he'll swing through the pitch and strikes out to end the inning. But the Provo Angels has tied the game up as Nate the Great Sutton, a base-clearing triple, scoring a run as it is 9-9 here in Ogden, Utah. We head to the bottom of the 6th, the Angels and the Raptors. Back out here at Lindquist Field, bottom of the 6th inning is going to be the 1, 2, and 3 hitters up against Nick Green. First pitch by Green will be a strike to Brandon Carter, who has struck out 3 times today. This is coming from a guy who went 5 for 5 in the first game of this series. But he has struck out 3 times. It's all tied up, 9-9 to score. Next pitch inside to Carter, 1-1. The Angels and the Raptors. Provo scoring 5 runs in the 6th, and now they've made this an interesting contest. Nick Green, next pitch, fly ball deep center field. Giannotti has to go back. He's going to make a running catch of the warning track. Richard Giannotti, a brilliant play. As a lefty, Brandon Carter roped it, but Giannotti with good speed able to pick up Brown, make the play. And there is 1 out for Lucas May. Nick French Fry Green on the mound. Next pitch, high and inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Lucas May has a ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout today. And he'll swing through this pitch, now putting the count at a ball and a strike. Excited for what the Angels have done, and even though the pitching has been questionable, May lunges at a next pitch, 1-2. The pitching has been questionable for the Angels throughout this series. In fact, throughout the season. They have the worst ERA in the league. Provo Angels a 6.66 ERA. That means that they average giving up nearly 7 runs a game. Another foul ball by Lucas May, third base side. However, their hitting's not too bad, but you can't win many games if you don't have good pitching. Just look at the Texas Rangers. An amazing team throughout the 90s, but they just lacked the pitching. 1-2, breaking ball high and inside, now 2-2. Or even the Colorado Rockies, another fine example of a great hitting team, but just not a pitcher's team. The 2-2 pitch, it'll be fouled back. And not to say that the Provos are obviously in that sort of a class. They, are like the Rangers or the Rockies in any way. They're definitely have a lot of talented pitchers who have a great future in this game. But it's just to start the season off, they've had their difficulties. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucas May waiting. Here's the pitch by Green, and it'll be a strike. Tim Duff will drop the ball, but he throws over to first base for the strikeout. So Lucas May, out number 2. Nick French Fry Green has got the first 3 men out he's faced. But now you got to face the lefty, Blake DeWitt. DeWitt with 2 doubles and 2 runs scored today. DeWitt has been terrorizing opponents here at Lindquist Field this season. He's hit over 440 at home compared to about 180 on the road. A huge difference. First pitch to DeWitt. Beautiful breaking ball right over the plate. Nick Green has a great curveball. Has a good changeup and a good fastball. He's able to mix those pitches up pretty consistently. The 0-1. That one is sent a mile down the right field line. That ball is going to be out of here. Blake DeWitt sending a shot for the factory in right. And he did the same thing last night. He hit a home run on a tie game. And he'll do it again here. Sending a shot to take the 10-9 lead. Blake DeWitt. That's why he was the 28th overall pick in this year's draft. A home run by Blake, and now Luis Castilla from the right side steps in. First pitch to Castilla, hard swing and a miss, 0-1. That is the first home run that Nick Green has given up this year. And it was a shot by DeWitt. The 0-1 pitch to Castilla. He'll lunge at the pitch, take a strike, 0-2. Yeah, right here you face the meat of the order. DeWitt, Luis Castilla, then Danny Batts, who's having a great year. And if Nick Green can get through this batter, then the sky's the limit. 0-2. The pitch is high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's another thing that's interesting about baseball. Fred Carney came in, gave up 4 runs in the 5th inning to trail 9-4. Clearly pitched an atrocious outing. Nick Green comes in. He's pitching the ball very well. His team makes a comeback. It's tied up. And 1 bad pitch, Nick Green is in line for the loss. And it's unfortunate how that happens. They should give the loss to the guy who gave up the most runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Castilla now calling time as he steps back. 2s across the board out here at Lindquist Field as these fans have their little 2-cent change ritual. 2-2, swing and a miss, strikes him out. Duff lobs it over to first base as he drops the pitch again. That'll end the inning, but Blake DeWitt going ding-dong as he gives the Raptors the 9-8 lead, or excuse me, 10-9 lead. We head to the top of the 7th. Raptors Angels in a tight one. Top of the 7th inning, a 10-9 Ogden Raptors lead and a must-win game for the Provo Angels. You saw them score 5 runs in the 6th. Let's see what they can do here in the 7th as they send up Joshua LeBlanc, J.R. Renz, and Tim Duff. This day in baseball history, 1993, 11 years ago, Oakland A's Ricky Henderson leads off both games of a doubleheader against the Indians with home runs. It's the first time that a batter has led off both ends of a doubleheader with home runs. The last one to do that was Harry the Hat Hooper for the Boston Red Sox, as the A's win the first game and lose the nightcap. But Ricky Henderson, first guy in 90 years, 80 years, to hit home runs at both ends of a doubleheader to open the games up. Don't forget, fans, if you're thinking about sponsoring or getting involved with the Angels in any way, give us a call at 377-BALL. We'd love to have you a part of our marketing group. We'd love to have your services. Purchase tickets at 422-8225. LeBlanc from the left. First pitch, and it'll be fouled straight back to the screen as it actually knocks over Carl Jelena and Francisco Cordovo. They had their radar gun up there, and they knocked it over. It was fouled off the screen, but just enough to knock the radar gun. That's interesting. 0-1. Next pitch, LeBlanc will swing through it. 0-2. LeBlanc 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles and a walk. Also has a stolen base and a run. Let's get a rally started. Castilla's pitch, and it looks like it's going to be a strike. Catcher will throw to first base as he dropped the ball, but LeBlanc is out number 1 here in the 7th. So again, if you're a part of the business and you're a huge Angels fan, this is what I urge you. Please talk to your ownership. Find out if they want to do any sponsorship with the Provo Angels. Let them know the great thing, the great ways of doing business with the baseball team. We'd love to have you a part of our marketing partners. Call us up. First pitch to Renz is inside, 1-0. And the reason why I mention this is because we move to our new ballpark next year. Sponsorship and billboard signs and all that is limited, but if we can get you on board now, then we will. The 1-0 pitch to Renz, and it'll be a foul ball to even things up. We are in the top of the 7th inning in a seesaw of a game. The Angels scored 2 runs in the first inning. The Raptors came back with 3 of their own in the second. The Angels then took the lead in the third, 4-3, and then the Raptors came back and tied it up, and then took a 9-4 lead before the Angels scored 5 runs in the 6th. Swing and a miss by JR. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And then finally, Blake DeWitt of the Raptors hitting a home run in the 6th to go up 10-9. But clearly, Nate Sutton has to be the player of the game at this point. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Renz will strike out for out number 1. Nate Sutton had been playing every other day for the Angels, but now it looks like, and I'm sure this is going to be a testimony to his skills, but it looks like Tom Costner is going to have to play him every single day. There's just no question about it. The way he's been hitting the ball and playing defense, Sutton will no longer play one day and sit out the next. Tim Duff is at the bat. A single, a walk, and a ground out. We're in the top of the 7th inning. 9 runs, 9 hits for the Angels. 10 runs, 13 hits for the Raptors. Tim Duff at the bat, and he'll take one low and inside, 1-0. Last night, the Raptors defeated the Angels 9-7. The night before that, the Raptors defeated the Angels 21-3. The runs have been huge in the series. High and inside to Tim Duff, 2-0. Albanus Castillo has struck out all 3 batters he's faced in the game. Struck out Angie Toussaint to end the 6th, and then has Joshua LeBlanc and J.R. Renz both swinging here in the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tim Duff. He'll pop this one, but foul down the right field side. 1 ball, 2 strikes, as a lucky fan is able to get underneath it and make a fine play out in the berm. Support your Anaheim Angels. Log on to futureangels.com and find out what all the hype is in the Angels farm system. Get to know a little more about the players and all the good stuff that makes the Angels one of the top-ranking systems in all of baseball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Duff. Here it is. And it's outside to even things up at 2-2. The Angels trying to at least head home winning one of these games against the Raptors. 2-2. Castillo's pitch is set to mile into left field. Tim Duff has launched it, going back, and it is over the wall. Tim Duff has hit his first professional home run to tie this game up. Duff entering the game was 0 for his last 16. Talk about a slugfest. Duff going yard, and it's going to be a tying home run. So congratulations, Tim Duff, as you just hit your first professional home run. A 2-out shot. Now Chris Walston will step in from the right side. Walston, another guy with some pretty good power. An RBI single in the 6th, and then would score on the Nate Sutton triple. Here's the first pitch, and it is low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. The game is all tied up, 10-10. Walston with the ball against him. Here's the next pitch. And again, it's outside, 2-0. So it looks like the scoreboard is all of a sudden shut down. As it says no runs, no hits, no errors, no nothing on there. They got to get that fixed. Walton will swing through the next pitch. Now 2-1. But Tim Duff, the solo home run in the 7th, has made this interesting. And Walston's pitch is popped straight up in the air. Should be playable for the first baseman, Luis Castilla, as he goes into foul grounds. Recovers the ball, and Walston pops out to end the inning. But Tim Duff hitting a mile shot home run into left. That has tied the game up. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 10-10. The game is all tied here in Ogden, Utah. Top of the scoreboard. Huh? It's 1, 2, 3 strike short round at the old ball game. Bottom of the 7th, Danny Batts, B.J. Richmond, and Justin Ruggiano, the batters. 10-10. It's all tied up here in Ogden, Utah, at Lindquist Field. If the Angels could just get this game done, get a W behind their name, they'll head home, play 2 against Ogden, and hey, you never know. Things could be interesting. Nick French Fry Green still on the mound here in the 7th. He'll be facing off against Danny Batts, who was 3 for 3 today. A couple infield singles, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Batts from the right. French Fry with the pitch. That one will be a clean single into center field as it bounces in front of Richard Giannotti. So Danny Batts singles to open things up. And this is just an offensive game. As like you think a pitcher's doing good, then all of a sudden, the guys collect hits. And no matter who's on the mound, this Raptors team has handled this Provo pitching staff. And, credit that Nick Green, that's only the second hit he's given up this game. But still, a base hit to open up the inning is huge. First pitch to Richmond. It'll be a strike inside, 0-1. Bottom of the seventh, 10-10. The Angels and the Raptors. All tied up out here at Linquest Field. The Angels trying to head home with at least something up their sleeve. That one, though, will be a line drive base hit into the gap of right center. Richard Giannotti will cut it off, throw it into the infield. Danny Bath will take third base on the play, and B.J. Richmond singles. Now runners at the corners and nobody out. I'm not quite sure what's happening right here, whether Nick Green is throwing the pitches he wants to, but these batters are just guessing, or if he's just having a hard time finding the strike zone. He gave up the home run to Blake DeWitt last inning, and now the first 2 men are on, and hey, it's a 70% chance that guys are going to score if there's somebody on third and no outs. And, oh, by the way, they got to face Justin Ruggiano now, who has two-run doubles, and he has scored a couple of runs. First pitch to Ruggiano, grounder right back to Nick Green. Is going to go to second, and the runner will be safe. And now they make the play. They do make the play as the umpire called the batter safe at second. Nick Green looked to third, and then he turned around and threw it to second. It was high and off of the bag, but Sean Rodriguez was able to apply the tag, so at least there's one out. The umpire made the mistake. First said he was safe, then said he was out. So that'll be a 1-6 fielder's choice. Runners still at the corners. One out on the board. And Nick Green, when he turned around and threw it to second, he knew he only had a split second to do it. So he threw the ball kind of high. And now he's facing off against Travis Denker. And oh, how sweet a ground ball to the shortstop would be right here. One out, runners in the corners. Nick Green with the pitch. And Denker will swing through it, 0-1. Travis has had effective at-bats all night. Drove home run in the second inning on a base hit. Singled in the fourth, eventually would score a run. And then had a sacrifice fly in the fifth. 0-1. Green with the pitch, and it is outside, 1-1. 10-10 the score. Angels and the Raptors. Travis Denker, only a .222 hitter entering the game, but he's collected some big hits, and he will foul this one back. 1-2. The Raptors have scored at least one run in every single inning since the second. They had a 1-2-3 inning in the first. But they went second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth innings, all scoring runs. The 1-2 pitch, and it's a foul ball, third base side. Apologize for my sneeze. I don't have a kill switch out here, so if I sneeze, you guys are going to hear it. If I cough, you guys are going to hear it. I got to blow my nose. You guys are going to hear it here in the booth. Danny Batts at third base, Justin Ruggiano at first. A 1-2 strike count to Travis Denker here in this tied game. 10-10 the score, bottom of the seventh. Denker waiting. Green's pitch. He'll chase it outside, and he will head back to the dugout with a strikeout. That is a huge out for Nick Green. After having runners in the corners and nobody out, Nick Green forces a ground ball where the runner has to hold at third, and then strikes out Travis Denker for the second out. And now it's Kenjil Pujols, who, granted, does have a RBI triple today, but he only has 2 hits in his first 27 at-bats this season. Pujols last year played in the Dominican Summer League. No relation to Albert Pujols. And Nick Green with the pitch. It'll be a foul ball, third base side. And this is what it's all about at this level. Zeke Zimmerman says, hey, if my pitchers are going to get themselves in a jam, they are going to have to pitch out of it. And right now, Nick Green is 1 out away from pitching out of his own jam. Pujols batting from the right side. Nick Green getting the sign as the wind is now blowing in from center field. And Pujols will pop it back for a strike. But the wind is now blowing in, so it's obviously going to deaden the balls a little bit if they're launched to the outfield. And that could be a good thing in a tie game. The Ogden Raptors have done it with power tonight. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball high, and it's now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at third base, runner at first. 2 outs on the board. Nick Green has done a fine job getting himself to this spot, as it is a 10-10 score to the 9-hitter, Pujols. Green looks towards third, comes in with the pitch, and it'll be fouled off the mask of the umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Don't forget, fans, log on to ProvoAngels.com and find out what all the hype is in Provo. Get to know the Angels, find out what they're doing in the community, and read wonderful game recaps. That's ProvoAngels.com. 1 ball, 2 strikes, Pujols from the right side. Bottom of the 7th. Nick Green with the leg kick, and the pitch will be a ball outside, and now the runner takes second base. Duff wasn't even looking. In fact, he was listening for the umpire. He turned around and saw the runner breaking for second. So that'll be an easy stolen base right there for Ruggiano as he stole it. Duff wasn't even watching. In fact, the runner didn't take off towards second until Duff looked away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And now, Pujols calling timeout. Again, it's been a seesaw game. The Angels lead, the Raptors lead, the Angels lead, the Raptors lead. The Angels tie it up, the Raptors take the lead. The Angels tie it up again. 2-2. Deuces wild here at Lindquist Field in Ogden, Utah. A lot of the rally hats are shaking. The fans hoping for a sweep. The Angels are going to try to avoid that. Nick Green, his intensity as he just stares down his catcher, Tim Duff, now steps off the mound. And French Fry out there, he's got a lot of, he's got some good pitches in his repertoire. He's got good mound composure and a good presence out there. On a 2-2 count, comes in with the pitch, and it'll strike the batter out. Ends the inning. Nick Green getting out of the jam. We head to the top of the 8th. 10-10 score, and your Angels coming up.
If you're running a great lead on front here, we calculate I-M-E-R-T-Y, I am dirty. You are correct. If your car was the dirtiest car in the neighborhood, we set up the front box. We want a free car wash, courtesy of Supersonic. You people like doing it, are you? Two teams battle out. Test that, you want a bolt now? Game on. Well, the 50-50 raffle ticket place at Denver. Starting winner will receive $225. Proceeds from the 50-50 raffle goes to the 96 again, a non-profit organization and music club for the Raptors. They said the trust fund is like $225 if you have this covered. 6, 5, 6, 3, 9, 656-399. You just throwing a pocket full of cash down up to Denker Prize.
Rodriguez. Top of the 8th inning, Richard Giannotti, Nate Sutton, and Sean Rodriguez to take their shots against Albanus Castillo. It's all tied up, 10 runs on 10 hits for the Angels, 10 runs on 15 hits for the Ogden Raptors, and Angels down to their final 6 outs to work with. They will be sending up the top 3 hitters in their order, so this is definitely the part of the order that they want to take advantage, get the hits, and make something happen. Richard Giannotti walked in the first inning, but struck out in the 4th and struck out in the 6th. And that strikeout, by the way, by Giannotti in the 6th inning was with the bases loaded. First pitch, he'll take a strike, 0-1. Let's see just what Richard Giannotti can do right here against Albanus Castillo. The 0-1 pitch, it'll be outside, 1-1 here at Lindquist Field. Game 3 of this 3-game series with the Ogden Raptors. Angels will get back on the bus tonight, head back to Provo, and get set for a 5-game homestand. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, 1-2 to Richard Giannotti. Just a back-and-forth game by these teams, and if you're listening right now, we appreciate that. We thank you for listening to Angels Baseball on Sports Juice. It's always interesting. Giannotti, he will swing at a pitch in the dirt, heads back to the dugout for out number 1, and Giannotti has 3 strikeouts today. Kochman's the type of guy that if you strike out 3 times, you're not playing the next game. We'll see if Giannotti will be in the lineup tomorrow. He's a good player. Nate Sutton at the bat. First pitch, outside, 1-0. Sutton singled in the 1st and 3rd innings, would end up scoring runs both times, would hit a fly ball to deep center field in the 5th, but then would triple with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Nate Sutton has had quality at-bats this entire season. 2 balls and no strikes to Nate the Great. Castilla's set, and it's high and outside again, 3-0. And you know Tom Kochman and the rest of this Angels front office and coaching staff are pleased with what he's been doing, and it doesn't look like Sutton will be taking a day off anymore. He's in the lineup for good. He takes a strike, 3-1. Ever since Nate Sutton's first game with the Angels, he's been very effective. The 3-1 cutting the outside part of the plate, and that'll fill things up at 3-2. So the count worked back in the favor of Castilla as he has thrown 2 straight strikes. What will Nate Sutton do next? Castilla delivering. It'll be high. Nate heads over to first base with a walk. Talk about a great ball player. Nate has a career, has a future in this game. A very patient batter will take first base. And now Sean Rodriguez. He's been on base 4 times tonight. A couple of walks, a line drive single, which tied the game up. And also reached on an error and scored a run. First pitch to Sean Rodriguez is inside, 1-0. A very good 2 and 3 punch for this Angels team. But the problem is, you know, if both of these guys continue to hit this well, they're not going to be here much longer. 1 ball, no strikes. Albanus Castillo. Pitch, foul ball, third base side, 1-1. In fact, if you're a baseball fan, if you're into collecting things, I tell you this now. Get a Nate Sutton autograph. If you have a chance to meet him, get him to sign a baseball for you, because his body type, his approach to the game, the way he trains, the way he takes it so seriously, and the way he hits the ball, he is a future product in the Angels system. And there's not too many guys you can look at on this Angels team and actually say that about. There's a few, but Nate Sutton is definitely one of them. And here's another one at the bat, Sean Rodriguez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Castilla, the right-hander, quickly throws to first base. Nate gets back safely. We'll look over the big league scoreboard in just a couple of minutes and let you know some games that went on, as it looks like most of them are finals. The 1-1 pitch to Nate. That's a foul ball, third base side again. And a foul ball. Travis Denker caught the ball to third, made a play to second. The ball got away, but the umpires called it foul. It looked like it was going to be fair. In fact, I think it was fair because anytime you see a third baseman lunge for a ball, quickly make a play, you know that he knew the ball was fair. 1-2 to Rodriguez. Nate at first base. 1 out on the board. It's a tie game. And Castilla bluffs the throw to first. Nate Sutton not moving at all. Look at his crouch stance over at first base. Looks like Ricky Henderson out there. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Rodriguez will strike out for out number 2. Get your Angels tickets while they're hot. 422-8225. The Provo Angels, they are for real. Unfortunately, they're under 500, but they got some players who are for real. Cliff Remolay now at the bat from the left side. Castilla delivering the first pitch. Chopper up to second base, and now it's going to be bobbled and kicked by the shortstop. Nate Sutton will take third base. Remolay will go to third, and now Sutton's going to come home to score. Nate will come in without a throw. Heads up play by Nate, and the Angels take the lead. It was playable for the shortstop, Lucas May, but he kicked the ball so hard it went all the way into foul grounds in the bullpen. He had to chase it down. Remolay took second. It'll be an E6. However, it doesn't matter because the Angels now on top, 11-10. Sutton did not stop running. He just kept on going and going. And it is now 11-10 Provo. What a comeback they've made today. But I'll tell you right now, they've had to work for every single run they've scored against this Ogden Raptors team. And not to downplay the Raptors because they are an excellent team. Andrew Toussaint now at the plate. First pitch. They'll swing at a pitch high and inside. Nothing in 1. The Raptors getting some activity going on in their bullpen. It looks like Carlos Alvarez is warming up. Nothing in 1 to Toussaint. And they'll take one high for a ball. 1-1. I'm telling you, every single time Nate Sutton comes to the plate, something's going to happen. And it does. 11-10. Andrew Toussaint from the right side, runner in scoring position. Now the pitch will get away from the catcher. Taking third base is Cliff Remolay. That'll be a wild pitch. Remolay now at third. 2-1 count, 2 outs. Andrew Toussaint. The Angels have been a good hitting team with runners on base. Let's see what Toussaint can do, though, with a runner at third. Remolay waiting on the base. Here's the 2-1 pitch up near the chin, and it's inside. 3-1. First base is open, so I'm sure that Albanez Castillo won't give Andrew anything to hit here. Because if worse comes to worse, you'll walk him, and ground ball ends the inning. 3-1 pitch. He ain't going to see a good one. Toussaint heads to first base with a 2-out walk. Runners now at the corners, and Joshua LeBlanc will make his way in. Looks like the Angels have Mitch Arnold warming up. See if Mitch Arnold maybe can throw 2 shutout innings for a save. He's already got 4 on the season. He's been one of the hardest pitchers to face off against. LeBlanc in a situation where he can give his team some insurance here. The Angels on top, 11-10. Runners in the corners, 2 outs here in the 8th. And LeBlanc will take a ball low, 1-0. An exciting game we've seen today. It looked like the Raptors were going to run away with it. The Angels come back, and it's just been back and forth all night. LeBlanc Waiting from the left side, the pitch home is going to be low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. The catcher, Kenjo Pujols, out on the mound talking with Castilla. Now he comes back. So they just made a quick conversation, maybe saying, hey, the sign is double-double, then the sign. Catchers will know what I mean with that, what I just said. 2 balls, no strikes to LeBlanc. A big pitch right here. Foul ball back down the third base side and up into the stands. Now 2-1. Come out, fans. Catch your Angels baseball at the ballpark at Larry H. Miller Field. Final season, they'll be there. Come out and support them. They need your support right now. Foul ball again, 2-2. They've been struggling. They've been struggling to start the season off, and they would love to have your support. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Castillo on the mound, runners at the corners. It's a 1-run lead for Provo. And now LeBlanc will call time. 11 runs, 10 hits for Provo. 10 runs, 15 hits for Ogden. And again, Pujols will run out to the mound. So it looks like these 2 guys are getting their signs mixed up as Castilla kicks some dirt with authority off the mound. Seems a little upset as the 2 might be arguing about pitch selection. And hopefully that fuel right there can flame Joshua LeBlanc, allow him to get a base hit. Two balls and 2 strikes. Remblay at third base, Toussaint at first. Now Castilla comes with a pitch. Toussaint will run to second, but it'll be to no avail because LeBlanc strikes out to end the inning. But the Angels have taken the lead on an error by the shortstop, and who else but Nate Sutton crossing the plate. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Can the Angels hold them off? As it looks like Mitch Arnold will be the new pitcher.
And it's his 9th anniversary, happy anniversary, Ryan Cook. And a special 81st birthday to Harry Odo. Where's Harry?
Yep. Big one.
Happy birthday. You're not 81. Oh, yeah. There's Dr. Penny Davis. That was good.
Come on, Hawk. Bottom of the 8th inning, now on the mound for the Provo Angels, it's going to be the tall right-hander, Mitch Arnold. Arnold will be facing off against a lefty, righty, lefty, and Mitch has put up some amazing numbers this year. 5 games, 4 saves, and in 5 and 2/3 innings pitched, he's only allowed 2 hits and has 10 strikeouts. Arnold will be facing off against Brandon Carter, and the first pitch will be a strike on the outside part of the plate. Mitch Arnold stands at 6'9", 230 pounds out of Saratoga, Wyoming. His 3rd season of professional ball. Next pitch, outside part of the plate, no balls and 2 strikes. Arnold pitched 2 years in the Arizona League. Played 4 games up in AAA Salt Lake this year. But is here with the Provo Angels. The 0-2 pitch. It'll be outside to the left-hander. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mitch Arnold has faced 8 left-handers this season. And he has not allowed none of them to get hits. It's still early, so has a long way to go to establish himself. But he's definitely on the right pace. 2-2 to Brandon Carter. So in line for the victory is going to be Nick Green. Mitch Arnold, if they keep him off for the next 2 innings, will be in line for a save. And it is now a full count to Brandon Carter. Not that Mitch Arnold has lost his location, is that with 2 strikes to the batter, Mitch Arnold is not going to give him something over the plate. He forces him to chase something. The 3-2. Foul ball off of the fence. And it keeps the count at 3-2. If you're going to get a guy out on a full count, you challenge him with the heat. Arnold is aware of that. That's his best pitch. Here he comes, 3-2. It's going to be a little bloop right to the second baseman. LeBlanc has to hurry, throws to first, and gets him by half a step. LeBlanc did not throw that ball very hard at all. In fact, and I don't mean to be on the Raptors side here, but it actually looked like Carter had beat it out. But the umpire called him out, so enough said. Carter is out number 1, and now Lucas May, the right-hander, steps in. First pitch to Lucas. He'll hit a foul ball, 0-1. Mitch Arnold was a 23rd round draft pick in 2001, but didn't sign until May of 2002. He has been dominating since joining the Provo Angels this season. The 0-1 pitch to Mitch. And it's low, 1-1. Arnold has 4 saves in his five games this season. Hasn't blown 1. 10 strikeouts. Pretty good numbers. Another ground ball to LeBlanc at second. He'll smother it. Throws over to first base and now throws wide. The ball gets away, but Tim Duff quickly recovering and throws the runner out at second base. So LeBlanc overthrowing the first baseman. It looked like May was going to trot into second, but Tim Duff was there to make the play at second base, and there are 2 outs on the board. It'll be an E4, but then it'll go 2-6 as Duff made a strong throw to short. Way to be in position, Tim. Duff being right there to make the play. I mean, a lot of times your catcher's not going to be back there that quick, but he was there. First pitch to Blake DeWitt. It'll be a ball, 1-0. DeWitt with 2 doubles and a home run in today's contest. DeWitt's home run came in the 6th inning. His 3rd homer in 3 straight games. And the next pitch will be a ball, 2-0. DeWitt had a 2-run homer in Game 1, a game-winning 2-run homer in Game 2. And his solo shot in the 6th inning gave the Raptors a 10-9 lead. DeWitt will take a strike, 2-1. It's power against power right here. Good fastball by Arnold, but low and outside. 3-1. Arnold throws some pretty good heat. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. There's the next pitch. And it'll be a ball. So they walk Blake DeWitt. DeWitt now at first base, and the big man, Mitch Arnold, is going to be facing the big man, Luis Castilla. In fact, let's just assume that Mitch Arnold did it on purpose. Let's let the first rounder get on first base. I want to face Castilla, one of the best hitters in the league. The top closers against the top hitters in the league. Power versus power. Arnold getting the sign from Tim Duff, and the first pitch will be fouled off down the right field side. The Angels will be sending up their 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the 9th inning. And hopefully they can get some insurance, because you never know with a 1-run game against the Raptors. The next pitch to Castilla. Good strike outside part of the plate now. 0-2. Mitch Arnold from Wyoming. 2 strikes to Castilla. Here's the pitch, and it's a softly tapped ground ball. Someone's got to come up with it. Nate, strong throw to third and gets the out. Nate Sutton is everywhere on the play. Gets the out, and that ends the inning. We head to the top of the ninth, 11-10, and once again, Nate Sutton is in the news. That was awesome. He's everywhere. I love that guy. I love him. He's my boy, dude. That boy can play. Nobody would have made that play. He came in like Mike Schmidt. Oh, man. He's coming on the bus. I mean, he's getting from me. I hope they don't grab him right now. Huh? I hope they don't grab him right now. Oh, I'm good. No, we need to get prepared. Oh, we need to help them play. I don't think they will. I think they keep her out. Top of the ninth inning, the Angels leading by 1 run. Nate Sutton finishing off the inning on a slow grounder to the shortstop. Rodriguez was no way he was going to make the play. Sutton cuts him off on the run, makes the play at first base with ease, and now Carlos Alvarez will take the mound for the Ogden Raptors. Alvarez will be facing off against the 7, 8, and 9 hitters here at Linquest Field. 11-10. Provo on top. Final line for Castilla, 2 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, walked a couple batters, and struck out 6. J.R. Renz with 3 strikeouts today will be taking his at-bats here. It'll be Renz, Duff, and Walston. Carlos Alvarez on the mound for the Raptors. This is his 6th game he's appearing in, and in his 4 innings, he's given up 6 runs, 1 walk for an ERA of 8.30. Let's see if the Angels can get something going here. First pitch to J.R. Renz. It'll be swung on and missed, 0-1. Now the Raptors pitching this today has done a good job of striking out Angel batters, but the Angels have come through in what I like to call the clutch. The next pitch, Renz takes it outside, 1-1. Clutch hitting is huge, and that's one thing the Angels had a difficult time with during the early part of the season. 1-1 to JR, who has been struggling against the Raptors. He'll take a strike over the plate. 1-2. 3,500 fans out here at the ballpark tonight supporting the Ogden Raptors, looking for a sweep, but the Angels are saying, no, not yet. Not yet. They lead by a run. The 1-2 to Renz. He'll pop it into foul grounds, right field side. Should be out of play, and it will be as the right fielder, B.J. Richmond, jumping on the tarp, thinking about jumping and making that play, but not, as he keeps the count at 1-2. JR was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning on the head, and since then has 3 strikeouts. So maybe the shot to the head might have thrown off his sense of the baseball. I don't know, but he's got 2 strikes against him. Renz to lead things off. Here's the next pitch by Alvarez, and it's a ball outside, 2-2. Just an outstanding game play by the Angels today. Can't say the pitching was great. Give Nick Green a lot of credit, and Mitch Arnold, but Rodriguez and Carney had their difficulties. Renz strikes out. It is his 4th strikeout of the game. Renz heads back to the dugout. 0 for 4 strikeouts. That's not going to look good on the stat line. And now Tim Duff makes his way in. Duff tied the game up with the home run in the 7th, as the Angels would eventually take the lead in the 8th. Duff from the right side. Carlos Alvarez set, and the first pitch is a ball outside, 1-0. An outstanding game by these ball players. You got to give the Angels a lot of credit. Right when you think they're going to sulk into a hole and walk away, they end up coming back and playing some pretty good baseball. Next pitch to Duff. It is a ball, 2-0. But it's been a good game, nonetheless. Please drop me an email at jpeters@provoangels.com. I'd love to hear from you before this game is over. Give me your thoughts on the contest. The 2-0 pitch, and it'll be a strike, 2-1. In fact, I want to find out who you're rooting for on this Angels team. So if you're listening right now over the internet, drop me an email at jpeters@provoangels.com and let me know who you're rooting for on your end of things. The 2-1 pitch to Duff is outside, 3-1. We'll get to those emails as soon as the game is over. Or I should say get to them in the 9th, hopefully. So hurry up and send the emails so we can get to them bottom of the 9th. 3 balls, 1 strike to Tim Duff from the right side. Alvarez, the lefty, getting set. Duff will swing and miss, and that'll fill the count up. Carlos Alvarez on the mound. Opponents are hitting about .316 against him. But he has a high ERA just because he's found himself in some tight spots this year. Chris Walston in the on-deck circle. Top of the 9th inning, 11-10, the Provo Angels. The wind blowing in from center field. The Ogden Temple, an LDS temple, is beautiful. It's beyond center field. Duff lunges at the ball, grounds it to second base. And a good throw by Brandon Carter will retire Duff. 2 outs now, and I was mentioning the temple out in center field, but it is beautiful. A beautiful place to have an LDS temple. Chris Walston now, with 2 outs on the board. He's 1 for 4 today. He's had 1 effective at bat, another one he struck out, another one he grounded into a double play, and another one he popped up to the first baseman in foul grounds. But he has a huge RBI single in the 6th inning, which set things up for Nate Sutton, who would eventually drive home all the runs with a 3-run triple. 1 ball, no strikes to Walston. Alvarez, the lefty, delivers, and he'll lunge at a pitch outside, 1-1. Chris Walston, mentioning his troubles with the bat. See what he can do here on a 1-1 count. 2 outs in the 9th. He'll chase one outside. (11-10). The Provo Angels on top, playing a unique game. They did a good job today, even though the pitching was not solid. The hitting has been fair, and Walston strikes out for out number 3. So Alvarez pitches a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Can Mitch Arnold calm down this Raptors team and send the Angels home with at least 1 win in the series? We'll be back as you're listening to Provo Angels Baseball here on SportsJuice.com. The bottom of the ninth inning begins now here in Ogden, Utah. The Angels with an 11-10 lead. Way to go, Provo, as they've done a good job getting back in this game. The pitching hasn't been all that solid today. There's been some situations during the series that have been questionable, but the hitting has at least come through. We got a couple of emails. The first one comes from Cynthia Douglas, the Douglas family out in Orlando, Florida. It's 12:17 in the morning on a Monday night, and you guys are listening to your son. That's great. You guys probably have to wake up and go to work in the morning, but good job, Douglas family, listening to the Angels out in Orlando, Florida, where it's already Tuesday morning out there. First pitch to Danny Batts here in the ninth will be a strike, 0-1. I like your son Jamie, by the way. He's a good pitcher. He's a good guy. He's a character. He's got that young look to him, so he'll be around for quite a while. The 0-1 pitch to Danny Batts, fouled back, 0-2. Now we'll get your other emails in just a minute. Again, that's jpeters@provoangels.com. Danny Batts with 2 strikes against him. He's 4 for 4 today. It's a 1-run game. Now let's see if Mitch Arnold can get themselves out of the game. Pitch is away, 1-2 the count. And as a pitcher, whenever you have 2 strikes on a batter, you're never going to come at him with a strike over the plate. You're going to force him to chase something away. Well, a lot of times a breaking ball outside, and obviously Mitch Arnold just threw a breaking ball outside. Batts didn't chase. The 1-2 by Mitch, and again, breaking ball outside. It's now 2-2. Because the rule is when you get 2 strikes against your batter, you force him to chase a pitch outside. Because then, if he gets a piece of it, it'll be a pop-up or a grounder. The 2-2 fastball inside, and it'll be hit, but foul down the right field side. Join us tomorrow, 7:05 first pitch, 6:55 for the pregame show, as we'll bring you the Provo Angels and the Ogden Raptors in Provo. As the Raptors come in for 2 games, and then the Casper Rockies will come in for 3. Danny Batts from the right. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and again, fly ball in the right field. It's a deep shot, but J.R. Renz will be there to recover. Renz was playing towards the foul line, so he was able to pick that ball up nearly on the foul line, and that's out number 1. So Batts trying to go opposite field, but with 1 out on the board, B.J. Richmond makes his way in. B.J. Richmond, 2 strikeouts today, also 2 walks. First pitch to the lefty. It'll be a strike, 0-1. Richmond, a .421 hitter at home. Next one, and it'll be popped foul down the left field side, 0-2. We just got an email from Scott Young and family, Mitch's Babe Ruth coach. Mitch Arnold is the young family's favorite Angel, and well, he's on the mound right now looking to pick up his 5th save and 5 opportunities, and Mitch just strikes out B.J. Richmond. So 2 gone here in the ninth. Mitch Arnold looking like he's 1 out away from picking up a 2-inning save for his 5th of the season. So thanks a lot, Scott Young and family, for dropping us an email. Mitch definitely on his path to a big league career. First pitch to Justin Ruggiano will be a strike inside. Ruggiano, 2 two-run doubles today, and he has scored a couple of runs, so 6 of tonight's runs are his responsibility, and he'll foul a pitch back, 0-2. Put on your rally shirts, hats, whatever you guys want to. Mitch Arnold, 1 strike away from ending this game. A comeback of ages for the Angels. They trail by 5 runs, swing and a miss, and Mitch Arnold has just saved the game for the Provo Angels. Final score, 11-10. Way to go, Angels. They head back home to play 2 against the Raptors. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to Angels Baseball here on SportsJuice.com. Final score 11-10. The Provo Angels defeated the Ogden Raptors in one heck of a seesaw game. Both teams were up and down. And let's quickly recap tonight's game. Provo Angels actually started things off. They were on top 2-0 in the first inning after getting some key hits, key base on balls, bringing home some runs. It was an interesting game, but the Angels were able to score 2 runs in the first. Raptors went down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning, so we figured that Fernando would be in cruise control. Not necessarily true. Top of the second inning, the Angels got 2 men on base. Both of them were in scoring position with nobody out, but Tim Duff grounded back to the pitcher. Walston struck out, and then Richard Giannotti ended the inning with a flyout. Bottom of the second inning, trailing by 2 runs, the Ogden Raptors put 3 runs on the board. Justin Ruggiano tied the game up with a 2-run double, and Travis Denker gave them the lead on an RBI single. So the Raptors led 3-2 at one point. They then added, at the top of the third inning, the Angels came back, scored 2 runs. So the Angels took a 2-3 lead, as Cliff Remele had a ground-out RBI, and then Sean Rodriguez would score on an error as the Angels took a 4-3 lead. In the third inning, though, the Raptors would tie things up on an infield single by B.J. Richmond. That gave them a 4-4 game, and then the Raptors would take the lead in the fourth on a Kenjo Pujols triple, which gave the Raptors a 5-4 lead. So it was 5-4 after 4 innings. The Angels went down 1-2-3 in the fifth. Bottom of the fifth inning, Fred Carney on the mound, and he fell into some trouble. A double by Blake DeWitt. Castillo brought him home on a single. Danny Batts with an infield single, and then Justin Ruggiano a 2-run double, giving the Raptors the 7-4 lead. He would eventually score the 8th run, making it 8-4 Ogden, or 9-4 Ogden Raptors. That was in the bottom of the fifth. But the Angels came right back, trailing 9-4, top of the sixth, base hit by Toussaint, walked to LeBlanc after Wren struck out. Duff would walk to load the bases. Walston hit a line drive single back up the middle, bringing home a run. And then after Giannotti struck out, it was Nate Sutton time. After fouling off a number of pitches and being down in the count 1-2, he forced the count in his favor, 2-2, triple down the right field line, bringing home all 3 runs, and Sutton would then score on a Sean Rodriguez single to tie it up at 9-9. The Raptors, though, were not done. They would hit a home run in the bottom of the sixth to take the 10-9 lead off of Nick Green. Angels would come right back in the top of the seventh. They would hit a home run, Tim Duff's first of the year. That gave the Angels the tie, 10-10 score. And then in the top of the eighth, after some great pitching by Mitch Arnold,